happens to me. Sweet. Hey, I'm back. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Whatever time you're watching this, as always, thanks for watching Common Sense Fishing. So we're back with our live stream again, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as promised. Try to make it every day that I can, 6 to 9. Sometimes I'm a little late. Sometimes I miss it altogether. I try to pop up the next day. So thanks for sticking around, watching the channel. Hope you guys enjoy these live streams. We do a lot of cool, fun things here. So also, before I forget, I have a bass fishing Facebook group page that I'm the owner of, moderator, all that good stuff. I started it. We're at almost 9,000 subs. So if you'd like, go check it out, Bass Fishing Lovers. We're having a giveaway. Shout out to Keeping It Real /Danny for donating a reel and a backpack. So we're going to be closing that giveaway out, I think, Sunday or Monday. And we'll do it on the live stream Monday. So next Monday, we'll pick a winner. We'll do the whole wheel of names or the random generator, and away we go. We'll have some fun. So don't forget to head on over to Bass Fishing Lovers and join the group. It is a private group, so you can request to join, or also people can invite you. But I pretty much let everyone in, but I kick people really fast when I see the drama or the spam when they're trying to sell knives and all that. So it's fortunately so far a pretty clean page with a lot of interesting, good fishing stuff, fishing talks, a lot of people that are like, that was a crazy way to say it, but you know what I mean? A lot of people that are having fishing conversations and they're helping each other with tips and tricks. There's a lot of videos up there. So cool community. We don't always just like, how do you say, give or take more than you give. So instead of like just blasting YouTube videos and then skedaddling, people are actually having conversations, posting pictures, congratulating each other, asking questions. So it's a pretty cool page. If you get a chance, go check it out. Thanks everybody for watching. Smash that like button. And throughout the night, if you guys have any comments or any concerns, anything you guys want to yap about, any tips, any things you guys want to ask, feel free to drop a comment. I'll be glad to interact with you guys and gals. But tonight, our video tonight is pretty much, I wanted to talk about fishing without a fish finder. So whether you're fishing from shore, or you're fishing from a boat, when you don't have the electronics, when you don't have the high-tech gear, how do you hone in and find these bass? And specifically with right now, summer to the fall transition, we're not there yet. Fall transition is going to happen. You're going to know one thing. As soon as the nights start getting cold, and I mean decently cold, as soon as they cool down good, you're going to know that's the time. And then it'll still be brutally hot in the middle of the day, but when the nights start getting chilly and you start seeing a good little amount of dew on the grass in the morning, that's when it's time to get out there and start fishing the fall transition, summer to fall transition. We're not there yet, but we're getting close. So anyways, how do you find fish with no fish finder? Maybe it's your first time at a lake or river or pond, body of water, how to break it down, how to find fish. So, and this goes for all year round, right? Oh yeah, a square bill is the best lure for me in the Delta. It has treble hooks. It hooks them very easy. Short strikers can't get away. The monsters engulf them down their throat, and you get like 3 to 6 hooks in. You don't lose them as good or as easy, as long as you fight them correctly, catch them in the right spots. I truly wish I had more footage of my square bill fishing in the Delta 6 to 8 years ago. So when I got my first bass boat, got excited. I got a a GoPro thing. I didn't open a YouTube channel yet, right? I was recording some footage, but I ended up having someone steal it out of the boat. Just it disappeared. I didn't leave it outside. Somebody on one of my trips just took it with them, maybe thought it was their GoPro or just came up. And I don't remember, didn't know who it was, honestly had no clue because I hadn't been using it for a few trips. And I started getting into 10 pounders, 8 pounders, 7 pounders constantly with the square bill every trip. And I'm talking, I have one trip where I probably had a 30 something plus pound bag with square bills only. That's all I threw. I just went around throwing square bills. And as a matter of fact, we even stayed a couple of trips where we had 25 to 30 pound bags plus, even, was just doing circles in one area. Um, Lois Park right there, Delta downtown. We'd go to a little cut. There's little cuts and coves in there, and the bass will push bait fish in there and just pin them and hold them in there and just devour them. Or even then, they'll set up in ambush spots and wait for bigger bait like bluegill and other stuff, especially when the striper, or not striper, when the salmon start to push into the delta and push the bass kind of out in a way, the bass will go into places to get away from the salmon. And so the salmon run particular routes. You'll get them everywhere though, because they'll get lost. They'll go other ways. So you get salmon that just they're everywhere, but the majority of them follow certain paths, right? Now, downtown Stockton, when the salmon start to push in, how's it going, Dan? Downtown Stockton, and in that area can be really cool for bass right now. Really hot, actually, really on fire for bass, and you can just tear them up. Top water and square bills is all I throw. So anyways, what we want to talk about is how to find fish without a fish finder. And almost in any body of water, you have maybe 5 types of fish. And we're going to break those down and explain what I mean. What do you mean by 5 types of fish? Salmon is the best, dude. I love catching salmon. Monster salmon. My first time catching a bunch of salmon was at the Nimbus Dam. And my uncle took me up there, and it was the craziest thing to see all these guys just shoulder to shoulder, just snagging salmon, catching salmon. There was just so many salmon. You could walk in the water and pick them up. So it was so awesome. Nice. Lake Ontario is huge. Pleasure to see you on the channel tonight, brother. So how do you catch fish, even like in a lake like Lake Ontario, right? Well, that's a huge lake, and so the fish will be in certain areas, right? I mean, it's very important, let's say, wind direction, like, because it is a lot of the phytoplankton or the stuff like that getting pushed to a certain corner and area of the lake, then that's where a lot of the bait fish are going to be, and then that's where a lot of the predatory fish will be as well, right? Not always, but there's lots of different cool things to factor in. And I'm by no means a East Coast lake pro or any of that. I've never even fished over there. I fished Florida, fished New Mexico, fished a lot of different places, but California, obviously where I'm from, so that's where I do most of my stuff here. But at the Delta, I love the Delta. I love these lakes. Now, for wherever you're at, there's going to be 5 main types of fish, right? So how the hell do we find them? And this is with bass. With other fish, usually there'll be maybe a couple types, and then some may have even more. But with bass, I consider it broken down into 5 main categories. And those 5 are, you have residential bass, right? That almost always, kind of 6 categories. And almost always live in one general area. They like to favorite haunts, let's just say. It's almost like it's the same bass is always there, same size, scar, whatever. That's like that bass's territory. Even though those bass, yes, they'll move, they'll roam around and do stuff, but they have favorite haunts that they just hang out in and they dominate. They're usually big fish as well. And those are residential bass, and they're not necessarily super big, because once you figure out where they live in the different areas, they can become easier to catch. But 3, 4s, nice big fish, healthy bass, aggressive. Those usually dominate and get to an area, and they'll sit in that area, and then that's kind of their area for a while. And then when they've been in the lake for so many years, they kind of pick a home, so to speak. And those are called residential bass, right? That's at least what we consider. Now, I look at that same type of class, and I say, instead of saying residential, because that means, like, if you have a favorite spot, you stick a fish, you think you can always go to it and stick that fish. Sometimes you can, but sometimes you may not. So I like to put that same type of fish, usually the residential, because he's around structure and is usually shallower, right? Residential bass are not going to residentially hang out in 60 feet of water over 300 feet of water all year long, right? They're just not going to do what an offshore bass will do, and we'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, plastics is something that's good. You can catch a lot of different species of fish with it. Hard baits are always great too, though, for big bass. So if you fish hard baits, go ahead. If that's your strength, then I'd recommend transitioning over to crankbaits, blade baits, top water, spinner baits. Go for things that are, and then if you're going to go for, depending on your fishing strategies, if you're like a power fisherman who is throwing hard baits for salmon or aggressive baits, or jigging big swim baits or whatever, if you're ocean fishing or in the big lake, right, fishing stuff like that. I don't know if you're throwing light line for smallmouth sometime, or what's your kick, but if salmon is one heck of a ride. I love fishing for salmon, but if you're going to fish for bass, I recommend when you change over to any kind of fishing, do what's your comfort level, let's say, but also to each its own, because for example, you can't necessarily transition into carp or trout fishing, kind of maybe trout, but carp fishing, and then say I'm going to throw hard plastics and soft. Like, you kind of have to bait fish for carp, or there's some tricks you can do. There's other ways to catch them too, but you get what I'm saying, right? So I wish you all the greatest luck. Hope you get some monsters. But anyways, I want to get, because I see your guys' comments, and I want to, yeah, poppers are great. Spoons are good. You can catch bass with spoons too. Hey, nice to see you on, Charles Chalk. I hope you recover quickly. And then when you do, hit me up. We'll get out on the lake, man. Get out there and smash them. Gotta go catch some fish, get something. Because before the weather turns nasty, right? Winter comes. Sometimes here it's hot and brutal. And the next thing you know, you have this little midget fall. You have a nice, beautiful fall. But it's only like 2-3 weeks. And then it's just like, and then sometimes we have summer till winter, basically till December. It just goes cold, and with drought years, all that good stuff. So anyways, back to the fishing types. So we have 6 main types. Residential, but I like to tie them in with what I like to call shallow bass. So we're going to break bass into 2 categories at first too. We have bass that are on the bottom, contact with structure or bottom, and then we have suspended bass, right? And then how do we get 5? Well, we have bottom shallow, and we have bottom mid to deep. Then you have top water shallow and mid, suspended shallow to mid. Then you have suspended out over insane depths. You have bass that will hang out in 50 feet of water, over 200 feet of water in a current pool, waiting to ambush trout or other stuff, or just because of lake, the turnover, and the why is the word slipping me? Burnout, the oxygen zone. You know what I'm talking about? So, oh man, that's a super no bueno brain slip for a bass fisherman. Oh man, see, that's why. Anyways, have you guys seen my Cheech and Chong sketch? Dave's Not Here, man. If you haven't, get it, check that out. So I clue you in a little. But anyways, different types of bass. All right, we've got bottom contact bass or structure bass, right? And those can be shallow. And then I like to classify mid and deep kind of together. So shallow, I'm saying, is 20 or 15 all the way up to shore. 15 maybe all the way up to shore. 10, 15 up to shore, up to 0. And then mid is like past 15, so like round 15, 17, 18, whatever. As soon as you get past 15 to about 25, 30, I should say 30, that's mid. 15 to 30. As soon as you get past 30, you're fishing in deep water over here in California. We catch, and so not necessarily in the summer as much, because I think when we do fish sometimes in 60, 70, 80 feet of water, and we'll get bass. But a lot of the times, I believe those bass are suspended, deep in cold water, out of the sun. It's usually summer days. You go pounding the shoreline. You go everywhere. You can't find them. You can't get a bite. You start casting out deep and you actually get them. Well, the problem is in a lot of lakes, there won't be a good oxygen content. So those fish won't be down there long. But if they're hanging out in a certain area or suspended and that lure falls through them, they'll follow it down. And then after a few hops, they'll hit it. So we'll think, oh, they're in 70 feet or 60 feet deep, when they really may be over 60 feet deep, but in 30 or 40 feet of water, suspended down, 40 feet deep. So 20 feet off the bottom. And then when that lure drops down past them, they go get it. And those can be tough days. Those are those summer days a lot of the time. I'm going on a tangent here, but we're going to wrap it all up with a nice, pretty bow. Yeah, lakes here are super deep. We got 300 plus feet deep, lakes. Obviously, the fish aren't that deep, but bass here can be caught in the winter, especially in, like, I'd say 90 to 100 feet deep. You can catch bass. I think in 110 might be around the max I've ever seen a bass pulled out of, is 1.5, 1.7, something like that. An insane deep number. And they may even be a little deeper than that, but I wouldn't really, I don't think so. At Bullard's Bar, at McClure, a couple different lakes, I've managed to pull them out. I've got them on video and 97 feet deep at Bullard's Bar in one of my videos. But I think I got one at 107 or something. I don't know if that one was on video or not. But anyways, that's not where I like to fish a lot of the time, but sometimes that's how I pull them out in the winter. So we'll get to that. But fish, right? They're the bass anyways. You've got structural bass, contact bass, and in those categories is where you're going to get fire, right? You got bottom shallow, bottom mid to deep. Then you've got suspended shallow, suspended mid to deep. And that fifth category I like to call was that residential bass. And also, sometimes that residential bass is like got two different types as well in those. A lot of those shallow residential bass that are always on giant big boulder points, giant big rock outcroppings, shelves, and big steep drop-offs and stuff that they like to haunt, and they're like almost always there. Where there's like this huge, like, let's say a pond or a small lake, and there's no real trees or anything. It's just like this one arm or point or something that has like one or two really huge trees underwater. There'll be some monsters in there. If that's especially the only cover in the lake, the biggest fish are going to dominate that, and they're going to hang there almost all year long, or a lot, unless there's no food there, right? Food chain's also important. Now, the other type of residential bass may be the bass that are under houseboats, that are under docks, that are suspended, and they're under things that are maybe over 100 feet, over 60 feet. So they're like the suspended bass, but they're stuck up against something like the structural bass. Those ones can also be extremely big bass. So there's kind of those categories. So how do you find bass when you've got no fish finder, you're on the shore, you got a boat, you're new lake, right? So you break those categories down, you go hunting, right? And you figure out where are the bass. That's simply what you do. Now you take your main tropes or your ideas or like the common beliefs, right, of what bass should be doing, and then you build and you go upon there. So even though let's just say all the bass masters say that during X conditions the bass will all be doing this, so you should do this, you go out there and you do that and you don't catch them. That happens to all of us, right? So when they're breaking the rules, or they're just like hard to figure out, or just not even, you just got to the lake. So how do you figure them out? Well, again, you start with that. Start with what you think you should be doing. Fish the moment, right? So read the conditions. Well, what's the temp? Of course, we don't have a depth finder or fish finder, so we don't know exactly what the temps are. So put your hand in the water. Is it cold? Is it mild? Is it hot? Is it warm? Is it windy outside? Is it cloudy? Is it super sunny? Is it daytime, nighttime, right? Just know some general things, right? Most of us do know those. And if you don't, watch a lot of my videos. I try to give all the tips and tricks on that stuff. I'll be glad to, even reiterate and do more videos on that stuff. But the idea is you hit out to the lake, and let's say it's summertime. So you're like, okay, they're going to be wanting cold water. They're going to want incoming snow melt or anything if there's some of it coming in still. Any creek arm, any spring, any natural water that comes into the lake through underwater springs and stuff like that. Higher elevation lakes, or especially like Tulik, which is a lake underneath a lake. So when you have a chain of lakes, and let's say they're both connected on a river system that's important or vital, and the water has to stay flowing, usually if you have a big body of water, like say New Maloney's above that lake, even though that body of water may warm up in a lot of places, that water deep down at the pit at the bottom of the lake is still very cold. And that is the water that goes through the dam first. The pump pulls that freezing, or not freezing, but 50 something degree cold water. Then it goes into another lake, Tulik. So that water is cold, is fresh, has oxygen when it starts moving across the rocks and tumbling. So the bass will pull up into the mouth or up into where the water is coming in, especially on a lake like Tulik, because there is so much fresh water coming in. It's cooler, and the bait will pull up. And there'll be a zone where they'll seem to want to comfortably hang out at, and you'll find them. So anyways, when you get there, fish the conditions. How's it going? Not quite sure. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm picking my kids up this weekend, so I forgot. I can't fish any tournaments this weekend. I'm going out to, is it San Jose or is this Sacramento? I got to go double check the flight records, but I got to go pick my kids up. You know, they stay with their mom in the summer, and they live with me during the rest of the year mostly, and we share custody with them. So they're over there having fun right now, and I'm gonna pick my daughter and son up, and I'm super stoked. So Sunday, I think we already got some stuff going on. So yeah, it's a 2-day tournament. Really would want to get down on that though. So that'd be fun. But let's break down these fish again here. So summertime, let's say, and you know they should either be in a couple of different spots depending on the lake and what it's doing. Is it raising? Is it dropping? Is there fresh water coming in? Is it stagnant and hot like McClure? A lot of those fish will move to the freshest, most incoming water, and they'll go deep, and they also suspend a lot there. It is super hard to catch sometimes. It just depends. They'll head to certain areas of the lake, and certain areas will feel barren. You can't seem to buy a bite because there's not enough oxygen content. The water's just way too warm. No bait there, whatever have you, right? So McClure can be pretty tricky, but let's just say in the summer, I'd shoot up to Horseshoe Bend, as far up going towards Bagby as you can, and start and see about the fresher, colder water. If there's nothing coming in, go back. And again, remember, you don't have a fish finder, no depth finder, so we're flying blind. So I'd start around up there, and if there's nothing fresh coming in, the water's probably going to be likely warm. If it's shallower, there's nothing fresh coming in, so you're going to start pulling back, and then you're going to find your first deep water and start fishing around that. That's what I would do. How's it going, Racho? Nice to see you on. So then after that, I would probably start fishing deep shelves, big boulders, and main lake points. Common tropes for, where to fish in the summer, especially if the sun's still up. If there's any shade that the big boulders, any shade lines that you can see, any tree, any cover, docks, houseboats are a good target. If you see one that's probably been there for a while, it's not occupied, pull up to it stealthily, especially if you're going to do this. Go to McClure. Let's say you're at Arnold's Bay, and it's a day where there's not a lot of people in their houseboats. What you do is you pull up and you fish the houseboats that are closest to shore. Those houseboats are only going to be some of them over 30 feet of water, some 60 feet, but they're still over enough of structural land where bass can simply move right up, hang out underneath the houseboat. If they get spooked, they can go right down to solid hard rock bottom and then do their thing, right? So those are going to be the houseboats I hit first. They're going to be the ones that are closest to the shore, and then I'm going to also want the ones that are on the furthest out. All the ones in the middle, stuff like that, you might, if you're on a good pattern and you start catching them doing that, then fish them all. But those are usually how I do it. Any houseboats that are next to points that look like they're going to be in 30 to 60, 80 feet of water, those are going to be the ones I go for first. Big rocks, boulders, shade lines, right? So anyways, didn't mean to get off topic, but we're talking about the main different types of bass, how to figure out your lake, how to figure the bass out, right? And so if you're getting there, don't know what's going on, try to fish the conditions. So look at what's going on in daylight, nighttime, cloud, wind, temperature, like general, right? We don't have any electronics, remember, whether you're on a shore or boat, and pick your choices accordingly. Go hit a main lake, point up, go find some boulders. Start by maybe trying to power fish, crankbait. Top water is great in the summer. If you're not getting anything active, if you don't see anything active, then you go to things like the Ned rig, drop shot. If you're not getting anything there, maybe a spinnerbait or an underswim. Try to remember to cover different water depths, because again, we've got those 5 or 6 main types of bass. You've got the shallow, structure, bottom contact, mid to deep, structure, bottom contact, whether smack to the bottom, near the bottom, or any kind of structure that's down there. They'll sit around that, right? Even if it's off the ground, like a pole or a tree or something, but they're tied to that structure, right? And then if they were to move, some of those will go down, and then because they feel safe along that structural, you know what I mean? Some fish are just suspended, swimming around, and again, they may do different things. I've seen them on live scope. It's pretty cool where you got one, they'll come down, go back up. They'll do all kinds of different stuff, but especially what watching live scope and I've seen some things where it's like, man, I'm sure there's a lot more fish that look at our lures than we realize when we're fishing and decide not to eat it. Live scopes definitely showed me that I get a lot of fish interested. And usually I think what happens is when you mess up on live scope is you realize there's a fish there, and then you either you change what you were doing. So you get excited and then you start going too fast, or you slow down, or you do something that wasn't, and it doesn't look natural, or you get too, trying to pop the lure, like, hey fish, come look, maybe you should just pretend like it's not there and just keeps painfully dragging and watch that thing slowly follow your lure. But again, we don't have any electronics, right? So what that's taught me is if you have no electronics and you hit your spot, you need to fish it thorough. You need to give it a fair shake before you move on. So simple. Pull up to a main lake point, whether you're on shore or you're in a boat. Pick a spot, nice juicy boulders, maybe a shade line here or there, maybe a deep shelf, whatever. But if you can get to fish near it from shore type thing, whatever, boat or shore, get to a nice looking area. And then I would start with, start going for some big topwater fish parallel out. I'd be rainbow casting, especially if I'm shore. If I'm on a boat, I'm probably more parallel 45ing. And then after, 10 to 20, maybe 30 casts or so, I'm putting the topwater down. Then I might pull out a square bill and run it and bump it off the rocks. And then I'm going to do it real close, within a foot or two of the shore, or in a foot or two of water. And I'm going to do it in 4 or 5, 6 feet of water. And then I might do it over 8 to 10, 12 feet of water, where the square bill is not touching anything, but it's going a few feet above rocks and boulders, right? And I'll try that also fast. I'll try it moderate, I'll try it slow, and I'll also try it slow with jerks and pauses, moderate with jerks and pauses, and then fast with jerks and pauses. That's going to require me to make 30, 40 casts with that lure to know that maybe if there's fish there, that's not what they want. Then I put it down, then I pull out maybe the drop shot or the Ned rig. And then if I start catching fish, now I start developing a pattern that I'm getting fish that are bottom contact or structural contact fish, right? Then I might bounce around, or if you're on shore, walk around to other main lake points in similar structure and try to fish it with similar results. And always paying attention to surroundings and circumstances. So if you see fish bust, if you see things going down, that you see bait fish rolling around, getting chased, or you see fish actually busting, then yeah, pull out your top water, change tactics. Don't always put yourself in a box. But like I said, so if you know those 5 type of fish, if for example, if you pulled up to a main lake point that just looks awesome, and you crankbaited that thing with a deep diving crankbait, medium diving crankbait, and a square bill, then you or an underspin or something, spinner bait, whatever, and you changed your different patterns and speeds, and you did all this junk, and you can only get them to bite with a drop shot or Ned rig, then if a lot of those fish are probably on that pattern, right? So now go try to replicate it. And if you start replicating it, now if you want to get bigger fish, start changing the lures that you're throwing down there, but get them down there. Crankbaits, other stuff like that, big jigs, whatever. And you may get the giant on a drop shot or a Ned rig. The point is how to pattern and catch them when you have no fish finder. So let's just say you fish everything that looks great. Man, this looks awesome. And you just can't catch them. You're throwing drop shot, Ned rig. You're throwing crankbaits or spinner baits or underspins or chatterbaits or top water, and you're giving it the fair shake. Ask you, through 100 casts, whatever, and you swear up and down, or I do, even like, let's say it's me. And, hundreds, 10, 20 slow cast, 10, 20 medium, 10, 20 fast, and you're beating your head against the log. You can't catch anything. Float and fly. Oh, yeah. That's a killer way to just chill and catch them for sure. So if you tried everything, right, move to a different type of structure. Pay attention to what you've been fishing. Maybe they're not really on all that thing. Maybe they're rooting for crawdads and mud. Maybe they're, this and that. So pull off, go to a different spot. So if you're walking, you're shore fishing, find different structure, find different water, and then do the same thing. If you're in a boat, same thing. Break down a different spot. If you were in a main lake point, now go to a secondary point or a cove, go to a creek channel or swing and try finding some fish in there. See if the fish have got bait fish pinned somewhere, because that can happen too a lot. Summertime, the bass can pack up into schools. They're chasing bait around, and you might be in areas that are sprinkled with a fish here and there. Point, maybe those really good, but it's only got a few small fish, maybe one nice, one are decent, but that whole stretch is kind of just and right around the corner or over here, over there might be a big school, small, medium, large, whatever, but could be a big school of bass. And so change your tactics. So if you're fishing all on the east shore and you fish North Lake, South Lake, whatever, maybe head over to the other side. If you fished, a certain pattern, try something different. And so again, if you're on shore, it's kind of hard to just get over to the other side of the lake, but you can pack your stuff up in your car and drive around to another launch or to another spot and fish that other side of the lake. So if you're in a boat, you do the same thing. You say, okay, well, they're not on main lake points. Let's go try some 45-degree stuff, or let's still find some flats or some long, skinny points. How about that? No, nothing there. Let's go find some shelves, right? Big, steep drop-offs, and try all that different stuff. And when you start getting bit, that's your fish finder. That means not only is there fish there, there's feeding fish, right? And you can just basically repeat and rinse your tactics. It's not that hard. I've been fishing. So right now so here's what happened. I had a triple shot, low rants, down scan, side imaging, and, a nice fish finder when it was brand new. Had a couple things happen though. My spot lock, unfortunately, the version of the Minn Kota trolling motor that I have, I don't know, the programming or whatever, it will turn 3-4 times in one direction, and the cord for the transducer is not very strong, and so it'll rip the cord in half and kink it, and it's a communicating, so there'll be like 9 wires or 8 wires going through this, so they're very fine, and if you get any kinks and messes in it, it's a big deal, right? And so the stupid spot lock ruined like $600 worth. I should have just, what I really need to do is, live scope, I've seen guys that attach these clamps, and then it's just a pole that goes into the water, And then the fish finder is actually on that, and you mount it, you know what direction it's facing, and it never moves. So when you move your trolling motor, the fish finder doesn't move. You have to pull it out and adjust it yourself, or move your boat, you know, and it's always looking wherever your boat's looking. So you can pull off if you want to check out here, turn your boat, and you can scan, right? So um, my point is I need to probably do a setup like that because of the trolling motor that I have. It's like almost a $3,000 trolling motor. When I bought it, I do not have the money to just scrap it because I don't like it and buy a new one. So what I'm going to do is have to understand I'm living with the conditions that I have. So buy a new fish finder, set it up properly that it's completely separate from the trolling motor. I also need to get one on the back end put on my dash while I'm driving. I do not have one there. So I need to invest in 2 new fish finders eventually. Not right now, but eventually. I'll continue to fish without one because right now I had one that worked, but about a year ago or so, after so much usage and the spot lock messing with it, even after I did this whole engineered, this protective cable sheathing stuff, it's acting up again and it won't read good. It won't see the bottom. It get all kinds of interference whenever I turn the trolling motor on. So I'm done with this fish finder. I'm not buying any more transducers for it. So um, I've been fishing blind. So how have I been doing? I got a double digit fishing blind, the one at Don Pedro. I just had, you know, I knew I got to stop. I can't just jig fish all night or do this. I got to do some suspended things. So I tried that 16-foot diving crankbait, and bam, I got merculated by a monster. And I've had a lot of fun. You know, when they were on the bottom, I was able to jig fish them and tear them up. With them suspended, they've been harder to catch, but I got a double digit. But it's been a while. It's been a tough little stretch. And also, I've been working. I do heating and air conditioning. So the past 3 months, I've been super focused and busy with my heating and air. So I've only been able to fish a day a week. You know, it'd be lucky if I get 2 days in a week, but maybe one day a week. Sometimes not even that. One day every 2 weeks. And before I was fishing 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes 5 times a week when I had the free time. And I was, you know, pumping out YouTube videos left and right. So I think I'm going to focus on putting out probably 2 videos a week. I'm going to really try to do with my actual fishing, get out on the lake, you know, do at least 2 a week. And then, we're going to continue the live streams for sure. And focus on making really good content even when I do have the time off. So I'm a big fish hunt, swim bait fish. I'm looking at getting into the mountains and fishing for smallmouth. I'm going to probably do some shore fishing here and there. Boat's getting fixed, so good news. I'll be on a tournament trail next year if everything goes good. I'll be fishing probably either Future Pro Tour or BBT or something. So you guys, I'll get to, you know, I'll record it all. So if I win any, you know, you'll get to see what lures, where. You get to see me cash a check at a tournament or win some plaques. Or if not, and I go through, come in close, or even getting my butt whooped sometimes. That's what happens. Sometimes you finish middle of the pack or even towards the end. Sometimes you're just out of the money. Sometimes you nail them. I've got trophies. Sometimes you win that first, second, or third, right? And the better your chances are, the more prepared you are. So I'm going to get out and do a bunch of fishing to get ready for the tournaments next year. So I'll be hitting the trail as long as everything goes smooth with work and all that. I own my own business, so as long as heating and air and the winter goes okay, then come spring, I'm going to be fired up to go into tournament trails swinging. And hopefully I do all right. I mean, I don't care either way. I'm going to have fun, learn every step of the way, and try to improve my skill. We're going to do videos, so we're going to take you guys along for the ride. Have fun like always. Now, I kind of tried to break down extensively how to find fish without a fish finder, but you know, one of the hardest ways can be those suspended fish. So you know how we talked about there's so many different types of fish, like as far as residential or bottom contact structural fish, and then there's some that are shallow, some that are deep. I kind of keep them into 2 categories. Are they shallowish? From X all the way up to the thing. Because I have enough patience to work a lure from, an inch of water down to about 20 feet and consider that shallow. As soon as I hit past that, I'm all right. Okay, we're getting into deeper water, right? So that's where I put mid and deep together. So once I'm fishing like that, I can just slow down and put myself in that groove and mood. Drop shot, jig fish, whatever, Ned rig, uh, deep dive and crank if it can go, a DT 22, I think the old school 20-foot diving ones. Um, you can long line stuff to get it down there, soft swim bait or something. But those are what I would be fishing to fish deep. But anyways, suspended as well. So spoons work great. Jigging spoons, flutter spoons, LV 500s, blade baits. Those are also a whole nother set. But if you do not have a fish finder, one of the hardest types of fish to catch can be the offshore bass, because you cannot tell that there's a giant school. You can drive over an area and there might be nothing there, and you drop a spoon down, jig, an LV. You don't know whether to stop it at 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet, whatever, right? And you can try rotating it, going down different depths, moving around in different areas and blindly doing it, and it'll work. It's one way to do it, right? Other way, though, obviously, is if you see activity, but that's top water. You might want to use something like a weightless Cinco, top water, jerk bait, something like that if you've got fish busting on the surface, right? But how would you know if there's a school of monster bass in 30 feet deep without a fish finder? It can be real tough. Suspended fish can be the hardest to catch. That's why the two type of fish that I will target heavily, when I have no fish finder, that's what I've been doing lately. It's bottom contact or shore fish, whether they're shallow or deep. So that's kind of that whole category there. And then if they're suspended, I want the structural contact suspended bass, the ones that are underneath docks, houseboats, boats, tree limbs, big trees, buoys, chains, anything suspended or big, anything in the water underneath, like or next to weed lines and chilling inside of the weeds, almost suspended, and they come out or they hang out in the weed edges, like at the delta. That's technically kind of a suspended bass if it's not on the bottom and it's out swimming around a couple feet underneath the water, a couple feet off the bottom. Perfect crankbait bass right there. So those are my two type of heavy go-to types of fish that I'm looking for. I don't really waste a lot of time trying to catch the suspended bass unless it's the suspended shallow, where if I'm shallow fishing or parallel crankbait and doing stuff like that, I'm going to toss top water as well. So I will do that, maybe even a jerk bait, crankbait, stuff like that, all that stuff, right? But that's again in that kind of shallowish range. The one type of fish I'm pretty much going to leave alone if I don't have a fish finder, and this is where sometimes that can kick your butt, is in the winter and summer, is when these fish pull up into or school up into big giant schools, and they'll sit over 100 feet of water, maybe 80 feet of water, 60 feet of water, and they're lifted off the bottom 30, 40 feet, or in the case of they may be sitting over 300 feet of water or 200 feet of water, and they may be in wintertime, they may be 70 feet down. In the summertime, they may be 30 feet down. But they may be doing stuff that is so crazy. These Lake, not all the time, but maybe they're chasing a bait ball down there, doing something. So the offshore bass are super tricky to catch. They're some of the funnest, in my opinion, as far as it's cool to do it when people see you deep sea fishing and they're like, oh, what the hell? And you're pulling out decent fish, looking like you're fishing in 1,000,000 feet of water, but you're really jigging an LV 500 or something like that. Or maybe you are drop shotting in 70 to 90 feet deep and pulling up 3 and 4 pounders like I've done at Don Pedro and a couple other lakes. It's awesome. It's fun. They fight heck of crazy because at first the fight is usually kind of soft when they start coming up from 60 feet deep and you hook them. It's almost like they're not even really sure they're hooked at first. And then when you get them 10, 20 feet off the bottom and they start getting, say you're catching a fish in 60 feet of water, 70, 80 feet of water in the winter or wherever, and you're on the bottom and you hook into it, unless it's the summer, when you do it in the winter, the fish comes up like almost like it's dead, like dead weight, and it's heavy, and you might feel it kind of fighting a little bit. But as soon as it hits like this zone, it just comes alive, and then they start taking drag and smashing all around. Really cool to catch a bass, a big 4 pounder, in 70, 80 feet in the winter. Fun. Tough and boring at the same time, but when you do hook them, fun. Uh, so that's how I try to break a lake, a river, pond down, anything is fish the conditions, fish what you see, fish what's there to you. See, it's your pond with a lot of weeds or something, probably going to want to go top water, maybe weightless Cinco, maybe a spinner bait, chatter bait, maybe an underspin or a soft swim bait. But you're probably not going to want to throw like a crankbait. I mean, you can, trust me, it works actually, as long as you have enough lane or room to get it in without always constantly, like if it's super thick matted, no. But if there's patches and stuff, you can rip your crankbait through weeds. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with lures with treble hooks that people wouldn't actually know you could do unless you've either had someone show you or you've read an article or seen a video or something, and you go out and try it. But once you get them down, like ripping an LV 500 through weeds is really cool, depending on how many, how much, what type of weeds, because then it's not fun at all when you're killing your shoulder and you're bringing in these big piles of weeds. But it's cool when you can throw it right into a set of hydrilla, double pop it and rip it out, comes out clean, and you get that thump, and then it's a big, nice bass. Oh, LV 500 is a killer lure. So anyways, yeah, each spot different. Fish the moment, fish what you see, and start with the tropes, the normals, what people say you should do, and then branch out from there if it doesn't work. But remember to always give it a fair shake. Remember to try things in different speeds, depths, and remember there's so many different types of fish. Not many, right? There's just a couple different types. Are they shallow or are they deep? Are they suspended or are they, out suspended deep? Or, what top water I consider is kind of suspended because they'll go down and come up, except unless, let's say, you're over 100 feet or 60 feet and they're actually in that top few feet of water. Yeah, top water is kind of its own class, but in general, I lump them in with suspended. So bottom shallow, bottom deep, suspended shallow, suspended deep. And then you just figure them out. And the worst ones and hardest ones to catch are the suspended deep, unless you can hit them with top water. If you can draw them up with top water, great. But if you have no fish finder, it can be very tough to find those suspended deep fish, which is a lot of time in the summertime what they'll do. Tell you a little story real quick, and then we're going to get into chill mode, hang out with everybody. I'm making sure I'm reading comments, so thanks everybody who's watching. I'm trying to avoid paying attention to how many people that we have on or how many likes I have, because I don't want to get into I'm trying to try some different things. So I think by just focusing on the camera, on you guys, the chat box here, I'm trying to provide quality content, good tips and tricks, and then actually engage with you guys and not worry about how many, because there could be one person on, we could have 10. So all I ask is thank you. I just want to say thank you for watching, and if you get a chance, smash that like button. For those of you who may be new here, thanks also, Daniel. For those of you who may be new here, I appreciate it if you want to subscribe. We do a lot of cool things here. Thank you to everybody for supporting the channel. We also have a lot of awesome members here. And to those members, I want to say a big thank you. Don't forget, sometime this month in August here, we're going to do our members giveaway just for you guys and gals. I'm going to do a cool item. We'll probably do like a nice little combo or something, and do our members giveaway. So another big reason to become a member of the channel. We have perks, we have videos that come to you guys early. We also do giveaways every month, and we do live streams every once in a while that are just us and nobody else can see them. So those are usually the ones where we get a little more fun and get a little more wild. All right, now just want to make sure that I've handled everything that I could remember and think of about breaking down a lake or pond or river or anything without a fish finder. Your pole is your fish finder. When you get bit, log all that. I know I've said it all. So yeah, I think I covered it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm not a pro. I'm not a guide. I've been fishing for a long time. I'm decent at it. But I just record it, document it, chill with you guys and gals. Live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We chat, we talk tips and tricks, we share information, we chill, we have fun. And a lot of time too, we go down rabbit holes. I tell jokes, I'll tell stories. We'll talk about crazy adventures that I've had. So, and I've had plenty, believe you me. I've opened back the veil, so to speak, and let a lot of you guys hear some crazy stories of my past. If anybody's interested, if you're new to the channel, smash that like button. Thank you so much for watching. But, leave a comment. Let me know. I'll be glad to go over some crazy topics and things I've seen, done in my past, fun, crazy stuff, weird stories and adventures, scary stuff. I've seen it, so I've been around the block, so to speak. Let's just say that. I've had a ton of fun. I've done dumb things and I've had some fun, successful things. So I've been homeless. I've had a lot of crazy stuff I've had to overcome, and I like sharing it with you guys and gals if you guys wish. So sometimes we do stuff like that where we'll get a little personal. We'll talk about stuff. Uh, you know, I do a toy drive to help the kids, to help the needy for Christmas. So we have a big heart here. Like to wear it on my sleeve. I just represent how it is, and I'm try to keep it real. So I share like where I catch my fish, what I catch my fish on. And then for everybody else in the world or wherever you're at, I try to make my stuff as relatable as possible so that hopefully it can help you in the areas that you're at. And as the channel grows, I'd love to make it a little more professional, take my videos and do like how Greg Blanchard would do, would he'd be fishing, you'd see a little picture of the bait that he's catching them on, the weight and like a breakdown, or if he's using a certain line on what rod. So you guys like, so well on this rod, why did I do what I've done? There's a lot of my rods too. I went and I bought a couple good new rods, just so you guys know too. I went and got another medium heavy. I got a carbon light. I got a couple of mediums. So I got some stuff to do some top water, some cranking, some deep cranking, and then like some jig and power fishing, stuff like that. So I redid my reels to my rod, so the right action, the right speed for the right lure and the right situation. And then I redid my line. So I bought some mono, which I don't use a lot of, but I got some mono that we're going to be using on a couple different setups. I got upgraded fluoro. I went to 15 pound, but I bought like some really expensive stuff, and it looks like about the same or feels similar to about 12, but it looks really high quality, feels good. So we'll see how it goes. But I did buy some really good high-end fluorocarbon, and I've reset up most of my stuff. My spinning gears are all braid back right now with some high-end braid. That's like, I think 15 pound test or 17 pound test braid, but then it's hooked up to 6 and 8 pound fluoro. Are those the new rods you had for Dave? You know it. I had all the gear. I got busted. You spent what on fishing? Yep. Oh man, I'm trying to have fun and do a few different things. So this is a fishing channel, but do a little bit of different videos, right? So we do these live streams. We do the whiteboard. We do, just fishing trips and adventures. So, but yeah, I thought you guys might enjoy a funny little skit. Dave's not here, man, because I went to go get a haircut, and I was looking a little scruff. Like you see how this looks right here? That was just everywhere, and then my head was just. I look like Wolverine. Like you can see my thumbnails from probably like just a week or two ago. So I figured if I'm going to get a haircut, let me try something different. I should have shaved all of this. I probably would have looked even more different. So I figured it would look funny, kind of like two different versions of me uh, arguing with myself. I was a little off on the timing, but I think I did all right. So I got a kick out of it. Hopefully you guys and gals do too. So you get a chance, head on over and check out my skit. Dave's not here, man. I thought it was funny. But All right, so I'm done yapping at you guys. Now we're just here to hang out and chill and have fun, talk for the night, see if there's any other tips or tricks you guys want me to go over, any subjects. Um, we can go down any rabbit holes, talk about the night that I seen the weird lightning flash, all my mountain lion encounters that I've had. Oh man, I'm getting shot at by the freaking mafia one time. Oh man, I think I've told most of you guys have heard some of the stories. So if you haven't, you guys should go check out some of my old live streams. We've had some fun on this channel. But usually, if the live stream goes off the rail or we have too much fun, then I usually make it members only. So thank you guys to the members. So for you members, if you ever want to laugh, you guys know you can go back and watch some of those live streams that are selected as members only, and you know there's probably either going to be something embarrassing, hilarious, or just downright like that was awesome, but not for like normal everyday YouTube consumption. Let's just so say I don't break the rules at all, but you know what I mean. I try to keep the channel child friendly, clean, no curse words as much as possible. Sometimes they go off, but you guys know how it goes. Especially recently, I'm trying to more professionalize it, tips and tricks, um, answer questions, more interactive. So I like when we get comments when you guys are interacting, asking questions. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Every one of you guys, thank you guys so much when you drop in, even if it's only for 5 or 10 minutes. Whether you're here the whole live stream, a lot of you guys know we go from 6 to 9. If I came in late, it might be 6:30 to 9, sometimes 7 to 9, but we roll till about 9 o'clock. So it's 2 3 hour live stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I try to have new topics to talk about. I try to have new tips and tricks to share with you guys, new stories and fun things. And we just yap and have a good time. So you guys are the other half of the show with your comments, with your ideas, with your stories too, or your comments in the section. Then it sets me off down another path, and we talk about stuff I may not have talked about because you guys are engaging. So it's pretty cool. We have a lot of fun. So again, a big shout out for everybody watching the channel and listening. For those of you who maybe put me on and you listen, you don't get a chance to watch, thank you as well. And like I said, I know some of you guys drop in for a few minutes, say hi, and then you go on about your business, doing other stuff in life. I appreciate each and every one of you, the one who sit, all you guys who sit through the whole 3 hours and and are entertained and have fun. And even sometimes when I might get a little bland and for the again, I always say too, every night I want to put a smile on your face too. Even if you're just listening and you can't see the hilarity, hopefully the thumbnail alone put a smile on your face. When I'm looking like, where are the fish? As that was the idea. Tonight's show was basically centered around how to catch or find fish when you don't have a fish finder, and some of the stuff that I've learned, by not having a fish finder. By not having a fish finder, I've learned that a fish finder is very important. But I've also learned that sometimes we can put too much faith in it, or if we see stuff, we can spend too much time doing something that we may not have done before, and we might have caught fish other ways. For example, you see something beneath you at 30 feet deep, and you spend so much time working on that when those could be catfish or something. It could be bass, could be dinks, could be whatever, and there could be something sitting right up shallow right in front of you, or vice versa, suspended out deep. Now, the better the electronics get, to be honest, the more all of those questions are answered for you. So you got guys with 3 4 screens, 2 up front, 3, 2 in the back, 2 up front. And pitch all day in your room. So freaking bored. I'm about to have my daughter bring my rod and pitch all day in my room. Hell yeah. You got to set up a little can. And every time you get it in there, you got to like figure out how to like maybe not have a hook tie on just like a bullet weight or something, and practice like casting into a can. My advice would be don't put it by a window though, so you don't take a window out. And hopefully a speedy recovery for you, bro. And yeah, it sucks being in the hospital. You know, I know how it is. But when you get out, if you want to go on a fishing trip, just hit me up. We'll go. And I don't know if someone just got home. I heard the dogs barking upstairs. So, yep, so freaking bored. I know what you mean, man. You ever seen the movie Biodome? Making a filter, making a filter. But you just like got to find something to do. It's like, oh my God. That's where I appreciate you hanging out. Hopefully, I try to keep you entertained and having fun, try to tell jokes, try to like make you laugh, make you smile, educate you a little bit, hopefully, or you guys educate me too, because I'm always open and willing to try new things and learn new techniques. And if someone's whacking them on this or that, well, I will get out there and try this or that. You better believe it. I like fish too. So, but yeah, had a good dinner. What you guys eat for dinner tonight? It's Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Taco Tuesday was yesterday, but I went out and grabbed a pork roast out of the freezer, defrosted it, and put it in a bowl of water in the fridge. Then I turned around and marinated it with some vinegar, garlic, olive oil, a little bit of water, and some really bomb seasoning, and the white vinegar, and it eats into the meat a little bit. So I let it sit on one side for a while, sit on another side for a while. I let it sit for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then put it in the oven. Had super bomb dinner. So hopefully you guys are getting some good munchies tonight. What you guys doing on this Wednesday other than watching me? I know Charles, food sucks without salt. Oh yeah, I should shut up. If you're in the hospital eating this non-salted food, I know what you mean. My mom, she did a lot of time in and out of the hospital. Yes, she did. And she used to make us sneak her in fast food or burgers, and she would have my dad bring her in junk food and shit sometimes, and he'd do it. I'd be like, damn it, Dad, what are you doing? But I understand. It's like, how's it going, Mike? Yeah, we went off on a tangent, but I bet you're like, hey, bro, bring me a burger. I don't know how we got away with it, man. Like we were just saying, my mom was in the hospital, and she would ask us to bring her like a burger or something, or she'd be like, especially if she was in there for a week or a few days, because before she passed away, she was routinely in the hospital like for a week or two here and there, like every few months, and it was like whenever she was in there for more than a few days, she would try to get us to bring her some kind of snack or fast food or just some kind of treat, because the hospital you couldn't have it. So, and sure enough, Pops never failed to oblige. So I can't say I blame him though. Food is good, is it not? I got the munchies just thinking about it. I just ate dinner. How's everybody doing this fine hump day? We were just covering how to break a lake down, catch fish without a fish finder, how to, kind of find the fish and stuff that I've learned without having one. I've learned they're super important. You need them for offshore fishing. And at certain times of the year, they come in handy with water temperature and with suspended fish. And I can't wait to get my fish finders all fixed and taken care of. Probably put the triple shot in the back and go to a regular transducer and drop the down scan side imaging, and then put because then it'll still have maps, and it will have traditional, and then I can put something nice up front. But we'll see, one step at a time. Like I said, all good things come in time. I got to have a little patience. So I've been focusing on my HVAC work. I do heating and air conditioning, electrical, stuff like that. And this summer has been interesting. I've learned a lot. I hope I made enough to survive until the winter, and then I hope I make enough in the winter to survive until summer. I think I did okay, but I'll never know until after taxes, because then I made so much, but then I'm gonna have to give so much away, so it sucks. There's like, it's crazy when you own your own business, you work for yourself. There's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of positives, pros and cons. There's a lot to it. I miss somewhat the days of just being able to sell or fix or just do whatever and it not be my responsibility. But at the same time, I wouldn't trade this for the world. The freedom, the the feeling of success and triumph when you overcome a very hard challenge, or you fix something that was extremely hard or to fix or nobody else could figure out. It's a cool feeling, and I love it. So yep, that's me. I'm over here fixing heating and air equipment up on roofs and in hot attics. That's why the fishing videos are just a little bit behind right now, only one or two a week. But every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I try to do one of these live streams. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If I miss it, try to come up Tuesday and Thursday. If not, do one on the weekend. Occasionally, I might go, a few days without. There's sometimes that's happened in the last few weeks, so I want to apologize. But we have a really cool group of guys here. And again, I wanted to give a big shout out. If you haven't already checked out the Bass Fishing Lovers Facebook page, we have a big giveaway thanks to one of our members here, Keeping It Real / Danny. He has been awesome at helping moderate the Facebook page. And he also, like I said, he donated a reel and a backpack. So if you guys get a chance, head on over, check out that giveaway, and get in on it. Make sure you guys get yourself some nice swag. Thanks for watching. Smash that like button. Now, does anybody have any questions? Any kind of lakes, rivers, any spots, anything you want me to break down, or anything you guys want to talk about? Other than that, I'm probably going to start ended up running down all kinds of rabbit holes, and we'll talk about fun tonight. It's a Wednesday. I think I did a decent job covering some really serious fishing topics, as far as honestly trying to give you the best tips and tricks I can for how to fish without a fish finder. So if you're in a kayak and you don't have a fish finder, if you're in a raft, if you're on shore, if you're in a boat, where do you start? How do you fish? And then remembering not to throw 3 casts with this one, 4 or 5 casts with that one, 5 casts with that one. So you throw 10, 15 casts. Now you think the spot sucks and move on. If it's pick your spots carefully. If they look good, fish them thoroughly. And then if you don't, change your pattern. Remember patterns too. What type of bottom, what type of stuff are you fishing? And then, like we talked about, the different types of fish, the structural fish, offshore fish, shallow fish, residential fish, which again are basically structural fish, but they're there a lot of the time of the year, or a season, and they hang out in a given spot like it's its dominated zone. But yeah, so now I think let's talk about some fun stuff. How about any new lures? I know it's an old lure. It's been around for a while. You've got the that magic action lure that you put in the water, swims around like bait. Might try something fun like that and do a video. I'm gonna be swim bait fishing, doing stuff like that. There's a lot of Japanese lures I've been seeing on the Bass Fishing Lovers Facebook page and some other pages. They look kind of cutting edge, different, look new. There's the Spitfire headbanger topwater swim bait that looks pretty cool. I think I'm gonna pick a couple up. I know Matt Frazier put them out there. I was going to buy a few, but they just kind of got sold out quick. And I just waited to see how the reviews came in or if anybody's catching with them. And I know they've done all right with it, so I might pick one up. But I don't see a lot of people posting with them just yet. So maybe I'll get out there, pick a few up, and see if I can't smash a few big bass with them. That'd be fun. So that lure looks pretty cool. But a lot of different stuff coming out in the fishing game, different rods, different reels, higher end stuff, ceramic bearings, glass rods. If you got the money, there's some crazy high end stuff. I'd like to get a big enough rod to handle like a double Atlas rig to do things like what Milliken Fishing was doing big A rigs for big bass. I can't wait to get out and do some different stuff. So again, nice to see everybody on tonight. Thanks for watching Common Sense Fishing. We're just hanging out and chilling, and I'm just trying to give as many tips and tricks away as I can. But I like to just hang out for the last kind of hour or so of the video and leave the floor open, or just chat with you guys, talk about some stories, maybe some stuff that's happening in the life, right? Or channel updates, all that good stuff. And I can ramble for a while and talk for a while for sure. So a lot of cool stuff in my mind to talk about. It would be cool, in my opinion, if we could get a dang visitor right here and start doing some back and forth and some more communication and stuff, and have another viewpoint or somebody to argue with or to have comedic relief, right? Old ball bull. I miss Anthony. I hope he's okay. He was at the doctor's office. So that was funny the night that he came over on the live stream and we were chatting. So what's my favorite color Cinco? I'm a little biased on that. I have to say I'm biased towards a baby bass. The blue and white, or not blue and white, the green and white, baby bass probably, because I think that bass eat other bass more than a lot of people think, and the small male bass eat the little baby bass up to a certain size. Once the first year or second year spawn is a good 2-3 inches, like little bluegill size like this, those are bass candy. The big bass will smash those up, and one of my favorite colors. So baby bass would have to be it. Second would probably be like a watermelon red flake or something. Just a light green or some kind of greenish color. With a flake. I like natural Cinco colors, but occasionally, if I'm fishing dark water, murky, muddy water, or I'm fishing at night, maybe a June bug, black or blue. I love peanut butter and jelly. That's a second. I forgot to mention that. So after like baby bass would probably be peanut butter and jelly actually as well. So baby bass, maybe a June, not a June bug, but a watermelon with like red flake. And then tied with that would probably be a peanut butter and jelly. So peanut butter and jelly jig, I got my 10-pounder on recently, one of my 10-pounders, and I've caught a lot of bass on Ansky tackle boxes, peanut butter and jelly Cincos that he poured me. He poured me a big bag, and then I'd use them and try to take good care of them. And I just ran out probably a while ago, but they were really key to putting a lot of good bass in my boat, was the peanut butter and jelly Cincos as well. Cinco is a great lure. You know what I need to do this year is get outside of my box and fish it a little differently, probably wacky rig it a few more times and try some other stuff, because I usually just traditionally Texas rig it, either weightless or with a weight, and away I go. But sometimes I have to set the hook so hard I snap my line on big fish. But I also know when I hook them, I can control them better, versus if I get a little hook in their mouth, I just feel less confident. I've lost a lot of big bass on little hooks. So I think it was all my fault in the way I fought them. What gear I was using to fish with was probably wrong in the first place. Using too heavy of a pole, too light of a line. I'm out here in the Delta drop shotting, and I get like a 10 to 12 pounder on. Of course, I'm not going to catch it. I tried my heart out, and this thing just whooped my ass, and eventually just popped off. Went on a run, and it was either get spooled or try to stop them, and then just popped right out, popped off, lost them. So, and I've had plenty of those happen at lakes. I've lost a lot of giants at the Delta on little mosquito hooks. So I've caught a lot of giants on crankbaits, but I've also lost a lot of giants on crankbaits. It sucks. My really good friends know I've probably lost way more big fish than I've caught, because I think a lot of it, the first 15 years of my bass fishing experience, was just with cheap crap, and then not knowing what line needs to go with what hook, or what reel or what lure, what pound test, whether I'm fishing mono or fluoro or braid. Am I using heavy, moderate, medium heavy? What kind of rod am I using? I never gave two thoughts about that much, other than I might want a flexible rod for this and a stiff rod for that. And so I would just generally buy bass rods that way. Okay, I want a flexible rod for this and a stiff rod for that. Some would be short, some will be long. I didn't know the differences. I didn't read much into it, or when I did, I was more worried about what lures and techniques to catch them on. And I figured if the pole didn't matter that much, right? But yeah, it actually does. So as I've done this a lot longer, I've learned a lot of my mistakes, because I've lost a shite ton of monsters, unfortunately. I can say for a fact I've lost more double digits than I've caught. 100% for sure. I've seen them like eye to eye within a few feet of the boat or shore. Oh, it breaks the heart, but whatever. Fishing stories, right? If you didn't catch it, it don't count. Just like if you don't have a scale, its automatic default weight is 2 pounds, unless it's smaller than that. It's like, nope. So I'll admit to that one. Like, I caught a monster and didn't have a scale in the boat, and it was all bad. So right now, you better believe there's 2 scales in my boat at any given time. I got one in my pocket when I leave the house dang near. It's like, I'm not making that mistake again. So, I got all my stuff covered. So if I get another monster, I'm on it. Ain't gonna be no, doubt in that, or either hurting the fish to try to get it weighed. So make sure we take care of our monsters out there. They're only, they're 1 in a million for a fish to get over 10 pounds. That's a rare bass. Don't eat them. Don't keep them. 8 to 10 pounders. In my opinion, you should keep and eat bass. And I think having an outlook that keeping and eating any is bad for fishing. It's bad for the fishery. I think it's horrible for the fishery when the fishery is filled with millions of 1 to 3 pound bass, and all the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10s are all just dead, gone, caught, ate, or they can't find enough food because the little 2 and 1 and 1.5 pound bass are eating everything up, gorging on all the baby bass. They eat the bluegill, they eat everything but the trout, right? So these big bass have to be trout eaters a lot of the time, and then they become even harder to catch. And they become pretty dang elusive, the monsters at McClure. You can catch them in certain ways. Back in the days, you could throw a Texas rig worm and a spinnerbait and catch double digits at McClure. It was a much better lake, and I think a lot of that is not keeping and eating the smaller fish, and then keeping and eating the bigger fish. So I had to go on a little rant real quick, but yeah, in your fishery, most of them, you should keep sometimes 3 and smaller, 2.5, or if it's under 3 pounds, take some out and control the population, and leave that place with monsters. And when you catch a monster, put her back with love and care. You know what I mean? What's up? How's it going, Marco? Nice to see everybody on tonight. Thanks everybody for joining. But yeah, proper pond management, proper lake management. You really want to eat a certain slot, like not the slot size fish, but you want to eat the 13 to 15, 18-inch bass. Once it gets over 18-inch bass, over 3 pounds or so, you really need to be letting these things go, especially when they're 5 pound plus bass. They don't taste good. The meat isn't good. The more aged the fish is, the less the meat is good. The flavor is more fishy, so to speak, and not in a good way. The meat isn't as tender or juicy when it's cooked. Just bigger fish are, in the term of bass, right? Bigger and older bass are less yummy, let's just say. So if you're going to eat them, eat the smaller ones, and then you're also doing a good deed. So you don't want to eat them all. So every time you fish, you don't want to keep all the 1 to 3 pounders and destroy your fishery either. There's a balance to it, but that's how you get monsters too, though. So that's, I think, a lot of the problems right now with like some of the fisheries is they're being overfished. The big ones are dying when they get caught. People are keeping them, and then you have a lot of little dinks that aren't being caught and removed, and they're messing with the food chain. And then droughts don't help. So, and it also doesn't help that everybody is now into bass fishing, which is a good thing. I think it's just there's more pressure, so it becomes a little tougher. Now, good man, how are you? I'm doing good, Marco. Pleasure to see you on tonight. I've been just hanging out, chilling, been working, doing my heating and air. Things have really started to slow down now. It's still hot, but it's like everything's broken already and being fixed. So the tail end of the summer, it's like when somebody's stuff breaks, they're probably just like crossing their fingers, hoping that it's the end of the, I don't know. It's been slow for me the last week or few days. So I'm going to work a couple more days. I've got some work lined up, and then I got the live well part came in today. So instead of picking up my part and fixing my boat, I did the live stream today, and so I'm probably gonna have to pick up the part on like Saturday or something. But yeah, I'm gonna pick up the live well cap plug for my nitro, and hopefully that'll take care of the live well issue. Should be good. Then the next thing I got to do is fix the hose so that there's no more leak, and then I'm ready to fish tournaments. So super excited. So sometime after next week, boat should be like tournament worthy actually, and I should be able to put fish in my live well, take double fisted, nice double fisted pictures, and do some cool video and save some of my biggest fish to show you my best five, instead of just lopping them back so they don't die because of the heat right now. But also in the heat, you don't want to box fish, and really if you don't have to. But if you catch a mondo and you're on them, you want to double up. If you take care of them, you keep your eye on them, your live wells working, ventilated properly. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to try to do some better footage, get some cool stuff, get some nice clips of some real nice healthy bass. So I can't wait till all that's done. Hopefully next week. The hose is the only thing I'm kind of tricky and worried about, being able to get my hands in there and change a hose without seeing it or fix it. And then how am I going to seal it? Like, because a lot of these hoses have like a sealant on them where someone's like siliconed them. So it's like, oh, great. I want to figure it out one way or another. I'll get this baby taken care of. I just hope I don't have to take it in for something like a hose, because then it's a nightmare. So we'll see how it goes. Follow along. Maybe I'll record it and document it, show you guys me fixing the boat up. But let me know what you guys want to see me go do next. If you want, you guys can direct me. If you guys are in the state, local. If not, you're out of state, Google it. Go zoom in on Google Maps. Find a lake, leave a comment below, and the lake with the most comments will win. And as long as I can launch and go, I'll take my next trip there. So I try to be pretty interactive. So you guys, that's an open invitation for you guys and gals. If you want to send me to a specific spot to fish, and it's not too crazy, then leave a comment. Let me know when the video is over, and it's in the comment section. Not in the live chat. So you got your live chat, and then you've got your comments, right? So we'll do a live stream. You guys can super chat. You guys can live chat. There's all these options right here, right? Then if you have, once the video is done live streaming, you could go back and rewatch it, and I can monetize it and everything. So there could be ads in it here and there, but you know what I mean? It's you can watch it afterwards, and when you do, then you can comment like normal. So if you guys would like to send me to any random lake, river, or spot that's legal to fish around here in California, leave a comment at the end of today's video, and I'd be glad to go out there and fish. As a matter of fact, I think I'll do a post that'll we'll do a poll maybe. So I'll create a post and we'll do a voter poll, like where you guys want to see me go. I know I was doing those before, but then the boat had the issue, so I wasn't able to follow up on the last place I went. But I wasn't the last place that won. I think was Los Panos Creek Reservoir, so we still got to do that one. Then afterwards, we'll do another poll. We'll see where you guys want to send me, and then off and away I go. I'll go fish. So I'm not sure if it is or not. Really, don't know. I know sometimes they get so low with the drought. That I remember a couple years ago they were talking about it having to close. So and I know they close it for the off season and they open it back up. After winter, but I don't know if it's still fishable. Like Success. Oh, excuse me. Oh, Vintage Tracker was recommending that I go out to Lake Success. He was whacking some 4 and 5 pounders out there. I was like, yeah, I want to go out there bad. But right now it's kind of, I don't know. It affects kind of like my desire, drive, or want to go to certain places. And then it also like my comfort level of wanting to go somewhere. With this drought, a lot of these places are super, super low. And there's, some of these places are very dangerous and don't have hazards that are marked properly. And so I like to stick to what I know and is safe right now in these crazy drought situations. One of the places that you'll see me at a lot this year is going to be, Green Pumpkin. There you go. One of the places you're going to see a lot, me a lot, is going to be at the Delta. So even as the lakes drain due to regulations on the river systems, they can't let them run dry, power generation. There will always be, for the most part, water flowing into the Delta. So the Delta is not going to have a drought and go low, super low, or it shouldn't. And it has colder water moving in, river water moving in. So it's a better body of water to fish in a drought situation. The Delta, Tulik is a really good one to fish. The reason being is it's below Maloney's and it's getting cold water into it, and it's also full. It's at capacity. It's full, so it's not super low and shallow. It's a great lake to be fishing right now. Tulik has been on fire. So I haven't got a chance to go back out there since the time I took the kid out there to catch his PB, but it was an awesome little trip. We were only out there for like a couple hours, and the kid caught like a 4 or 5 pounder. So his first fish ever. It's awesome. So I have that on video. You guys can check that out if you want. But we have, I think, over 300 videos now on the channel. Been around, I think, this November or so will make 2 years now. So we hit 1,000 pretty quickly. We hit 1,000 in a year, and then this year we've only done like 500 and some change. Been a little bit slow on the growth because I think the content I've been pumping out, I've been doing it a little bit less lately. And also, I think I need to get out and fish other lakes and areas, branch out into other markets, so to speak, because a lot of the local guys will watch me fishing the local lakes. I got a lot of viewers from other areas, and thank you guys so much. Those of you from the East Coast, out of country, in Washington, I know I got a lot of viewers in other areas as well. So that's the thing, though, is get out and fish other states and other areas. And then when you do a YouTube video and you tag those locations and yada yada, that's how you can also change and get more viewers. So it's going to be nice to get out there and fish some different bodies of water. I'm looking forward to the challenge, but I've been paranoid about really fishing new bodies of water, especially with the hose issue, leaking water into the boat, live well not working, and then grounding out at the Delta was like the the 3 strikes of bad luck, like boom, boom, boom. Like, nah, I'm chill right now. So as soon as everything gets fixed and it's back on like a steady, momentum, you guys are going to see me all over the place, but mostly going to be at the Delta for the remainder of this year. So Delta heavy, any lakes that are full or fuller capacity that I can fish, Tulic, Don Pedro, New Baloney's. I don't know how much longer we'll be able to fish McClure. Um, I think we'll be able to finish out fishing McClure this year, but it's really a tough lake. I recommend leaving it alone for the rest of this year. Give it a rest. Check it out next year. Spawn should be phenomenal. Big bass should be coming out. Especially they've been left alone all year. Um, but yeah, so Scotts Valley Reservoir, Almanor. I want to get up into the high Sierras and start doing some smallmouth fishing out of the boat. I just have to make sure that I could take the boat. I don't want to drive all the way up to these lakes and find that my boat's not allowed to go in or yada yada. And again, until I get everything fixed. But once everything's fixed, it's on. Watch it. Ooh, excuse me. I'm all stuffed up. Like, give me 1 second. I gotta go talk to my buddy. You guys know who I'm gonna say hi real fast. Give me a second. Boy. I need to go get like a glass of water or something real quick. You guys mind hanging out? Check out the collection. Look at the toys and the bikes that we've got already to help the needy kids this year for Christmas. I've been lagging. I've got money set aside. I got to go buy some more toys. So this pile's going to get huge. Watch. So I'll be right back. I got to go get a little glass of water. Shizer uppercut. Oh goodness, man! It seems like I missed about 2 weeks. Or not 2 weeks, but like a week, almost a week straight. It was like a 7 or 6 day stretch I wasn't on, and I lost a lot of people. I think not lost them, but like they're not checking out the live stream as much. It seems it's weird. But people have lives. This is a 3-hour live stream, so I totally get it. It's just like I got to try to be consistent. So I want to apologize when I miss shows. It upsets me a little bit, but that's a large responsibility to take on. Doing live streams every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, for 3 hours. That's a good cut of my time every one of those days, especially with 4 kids and all the stuff going on. So I understand your guys' life's just as complicated, if not more. And so it's hard sometimes to, sit through a whole sitting or to always try to show up, just like it's hard for me to always religiously produce them because, I don't get paid much. I'm stoked. I'm monetized. So I'll make a little bit. I think at the end of the year, I'll make like exactly. That's what I'm trying to do. Just do me and hope everyone enjoys and has fun. I'm glad when I see like Helifino been around since the beginning. Glad to see you on. I hope we can fish before, you take off to Washington. Totally just drop me a line on Facebook for sure. What do you like to throw on steep, deep walls? So I like to pull up parallel and I use power fishing on steep, deep walls most of the time. So if I believe the fish are on a steep, deep wall and they're hanging on a shelf, or they're suspended on that, I might throw top water. Then I'm going to throw a crankbait, like maybe a square bill, because usually the shelf only goes down so long until there's like a drop off, and then there's a shelf, and then another drop off, right? And they'll sit on that. So you can use bottom bouncers and stuff, but I'll use a top water. I'll use a crankbait, and then I might throw like a maybe a jerk bait or something suspended with pauses to try to create that bite. And if not on those three, probably top water, crankbait, jerk bait, I'm probably going to then go to a bottom bouncer, and I might start with a jig and or a drop shot. And the jig's going to it's going to hit the wall. I'm going to cast it right at the wall and let it come right down. Hell if I know. Yeah, I've got an ex-wife, but I don't want to talk negative about her. The kids watch the channel, and she's not that bad of a person. She's not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. It's just we didn't get along. But I could imagine there were probably some exes that you want to just, yeah, that's problems in general. And then sometimes you just want to take your problem and you just want to toss it off a cliff or just turn your back on it and ignore it. Because that's the easiest thing to do, but it's not the right thing to do. It's like, ugh. So anyways, yeah, a jig tossed right at the wall, and I'll let it tumble down until it hits the drop off. And I'll let it sit there, and I'll let it dead stick for about 3 to 5 seconds, maybe 5. Like, so for example, toss the jig, say there's a shelf right here, and then there's another drop off right here. And it's 30 feet deep down here. So there's like a 15-foot, 10-foot drops on that. I'm going to cast my lure almost right on it, and just, if there's an outcropping, it might stop right there. I might pop it a little bit, right, softly. But what happens is as it tumbles down or falls down, I'm keeping slack in the line, bells open, but I'm feeling, and if I feel that tick as it falls down, if I feel that tick, I know something has picked it up. I'll set right away. But then when it hits and it stops, and I'll see my line stop, then I click and I reel and I wait. I wait about like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5, and then before I jig, when I jig fish, unless I know they're active or certain ways, one of the first ways I'll start is when I go to lift up, and even almost any time, even when I pop or whatever, I lift real slow. So before I pop it, or I drag, or I do whatever, say whatever technique you're doing with the jig, before I do anything, as soon as my line gets tight and my rod starts to receive tension, I slowly lift a little just to check. Is there weight on there? Is it in a rock? Is it just chilling? And then if you lift, do you feel it move immediately? Or a lot of times, right, you won't feel nothing, but you'll go to lift up and it'll feel like a rock, and then it'll go thump, and it was a fish. Well, it had it the whole time, and when you lift it up, it felt you and it spit it out. And then the release of the pressure is what you felt like a bite. Yeah, and so when I go to lift, the first thing I do is I kind of do it slowly, and then I'll pop it. And I'll pop it right off the jig, and I let it fall back down. I wait about 5 seconds, and I'll do it again, and I'll pop it down, and then I'll reel it right back up, and I'll do it again. Or I'll use a drop shot and just dangle it along and cast it along, because it'll hit the cracks and crevices even on a real steep one, so you'll have some working ability to pull it out towards you and not have it just fall 20 feet. But usually I'm power fishing walls. So if I'm fishing steep walls, it's going to be top water, crankbait, spinner bait, or like a jerk bait or something, right? And then if not, then I'm bottom bouncing it almost like pitching and flipping like you would docks, right? There's no reason to work your jig or your drop shot down into 80 feet, 60 feet. So hit that wall, let it fall, wait, pop or wiggle or jiggle or drag or whatever is the technique that's working, and then let it, and then once you hit that zone and you're out of that strike zone that you've, let's say, zoned in on the fish or between here and there, you see them on your fish finder, then kind of like pitching and flipping. Then you're just pitching your jig up to the wall, letting it fall down, hop, hop, letting it fall down, hop, letting it fall down. No, reel it in, pick and casting at another one. You know what I mean? And jigs is a good way to get a big bass that's sitting on a big ledge. That's how I got my 10-pounder at McClure. So, but hey, whatever. How's it going, Danny's Kitchen? Nice to see you in the house tonight. I was talking about missing some of my old subscribers. I'm like, oh, I wasn't naming anybody. It's glad to see you here, buddy. I miss everybody, just like Helifino. I was like, you guys been here since the beginning. I remember everybody's names, all my supporters. You guys are awesome. So we got a good little group of people here. So shout out Danny's Kitchen, Helifino, Mike Dozer, Curtis LeDuc, Charles Chalk, and then Annabelle Cruz. I mean, all the others, all the different people that are also, members of the channel. You guys are wicked. Yeah, last time I think I was at the, where was I at? I was at the lake too, I think, right? So I did a live stream. Was it yesterday or the day before? Monday. I did a live stream Monday at the lake. And yeah, reception was spotty, and also I didn't catch anything. So I don't know how long I was on live stream for, but it was a struggle. I didn't catch anything on live stream, but as soon as like the sun started going down, the phone died, live stream went off, and I caught 3 bass, and my buddy caught 1. So we got 4 all together. We stayed like an hour into the night, and that's when we caught our fish, and then we left. It was tough. But, beautiful scenery, trying to do more fun stuff like that too. It's just certain lakes are really tough to live stream from, but I can live stream from the Delta really good. So that's where I'm super stoked to try to get, like, I want to get a tripod and bring it out there, set my camera up, run a cord to a solar charger, and just and then I want to buy a little umbrella to keep it out of the sun, so that it's out of the sunlight, but it can still get video shots, and set it up at a certain spot. I'm gonna go out by myself with nobody with me, take you guys around some of my best spots. And when I'm solo with my net and me, I kill it, I murder it. I don't trip on whatever anyone's with me. I fish different techniques, styles, places. I run and gun a lot. I move, and I'll also sit and I'll chill. When I know I'm in a decent area, I'll break it down. And hopefully without anybody kind of in the boat weighing us down, we can go a little faster without anybody to just kind of worry about them catching fish. Or I'm not a guide, but when I take people, I want them to catch fish. So a lot of the times I'll go to places and we have numbers oversized, or I may simply stick to tactics that are guaranteed to catch fish, but maybe not the big ones right then and there. For example, crankbaiting bass is a good way to get monsters. However, crankbaiting rock walls is a really good way to get numbers. So you can get lots of dinks and fish in the 5-pound range, and there's mondo fish. You can 10-pounders in the rocks too. But a lot of times they're going to be in key spots where there's rocks and tules, rocks in a big weed clump, rocks in a pipe, something extra juicy. But if you got just this basic rock shoreline, you can usually go down the Delta and crankbait fish off of it all day. Stripers, bass. There's just little bait fish that hides in there, so there'll be fish that eats that. There's always going to be an ecosystem in the rocks, and then the fish also will be traveling and moving, and they hold near the rocks and cover, right? So that's like a super easy technique to catch numbers, right? Is crankbaiting or fishing in the rocks, but not always the killer tactic. So I like crankbaiting in docks, and in little areas like Ben Holt, Apothecary Cove, like in downtown Stockton on the big rocks on the point. I get in those shipping lanes and I fish all in the little shores behind them, in the little cuts and areas. Yeah. Well, if I go out on the Delta, bro, the whole Delta should have good reception, most of it that I fish anyways. So I can literally probably live stream for a good 3 or 4 hours. I could take you on one of my adventures and drop in and fish and get a feel for what the day's like. And then when I'm ready, turn you guys on and just start fishing and have fun. And then also maybe smash on one of my usual routine if I launch out of downtown or somewhere near like Lads is I fish until I start murking them. And then once like half of the day has gone by, I go and I drive my boat to either Garlic Brothers or one of the other like Windmill Cove or somewhere where I can order some drinks. I don't want to get wasted or anything, but I'll catch a little quick buzz and then food. And I go and I relax and I chill and I enjoy the scenery. I just enjoy the freedom and the air and being outside and just the environment, the people, whatever, the company. If you have people with you, like Virgil is awesome, dude. Love going fishing with that guy. So we just hang out and we bullshit and talk. And, then when I'm done eating, then we get back out on the boat and we close the day out and we try to catch more fish until either sometimes we'll fish until dark, sometimes we'll just fish another couple hours, but whatever as much battery as the trolling motor's got. So I also at the Delta know how to fish a lot better, especially when I need to buy a whole new set of batteries. That's a whole nother grip of money I don't have to spend right now. So my trolling motor batteries kind of die a little quicker than they normally would. So let's say they'd last 10 hours or 11 now, or even 12. Now I might have 6 or 7 hours of battery time in the same conditions. So I can stretch that into a 12-hour fishing day by working with the current and the wind, by letting the wind or current push me a certain way and only using the trolling motor in small boosts to slow my descent. So, and the more windier it is, the more energy you're going to use. The less windy it is, the more you can kind of just slowly float along as if you were using your trolling motor, but you're letting the current take you. Or if the current stops and there's some wind, you let that take you. Or there's both the current and the wind, in which case sometimes the current is going one way and the wind's going another, and you move real slow. Or if the current and the wind's going the same way, you haul balls when you start flying down the shoreline. So I try to fish like, even though let's say the best way may be to set up a particular spot or point or ambush area and fish it a certain way, I'll fish it of whatever is the best convenience to would not kill my trolling motor battery or smash myself up on shore, so that I can fish correctly as close as possible, have as much control. But the Delta has a couple problems with the big waves, the big boats, the stuff can come out of nowhere really close. So you want to stay a few feet back at least, but as close as you can get. Like sometimes I'll be right up on the shore, letting myself bang against stuff. As long as you're not going fast, you ain't gonna break your boat. But if you get a big wave and you get put 5-foot wave lifts your boat and then smashes you onto the shore, yeah, you could put a crack in it. So not a smart idea. You pay attention to your surroundings. You can get real close. If you see a boat come by, pull out. So that when that 5-foot wave comes, you already know, screw that, I'm not going to be. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I think my next live stream that I get a chance to do fishing, I'm going to intentionally make it the Delta. So Friday, guys, I may be late or I may miss Friday's live. Time will be off. There are hour drives, and this is the type of company usually showing real early, but sometimes you might not be done until, I think 5 is standard. So hopefully I'll be home by 6 to make Friday's live stream. If not, I might be a little late, but I don't think there should be any problems with me missing it. Now Saturday, I'm picking up my kids from the airport. So Sunday, I'm going to try to do something. I don't know, do something with the family because they're going to start school Monday. So Monday's going to be hectic. all this crazy stuff going on. I've got a job I've got to do for a buddy one of these days. He had to reschedule from today, so I don't know what next week's gonna look like, but it's gonna be open hopefully soon. So maybe Wednesday or Friday. I got to get I got a solar charger, so I got to see if I can get a little tripod for my cell phone, and then like figure out where I can mount it so that when I start driving like 50 miles an hour, you guys don't fly out the boat into the Delta. That would super suck. You guys would laugh because my phone would probably take 30 seconds or so to die. So you'd probably watch the whole world spin and flip and then hit the water and then sink to the bottom. You'd be like, what just happened? Be like, my phone. No. Losing your phone nowadays is like losing your wallet. Like if you were a grown adult and you had all your credit cards and your IDs and your social security number, like in the 90s or 2000, early, before much of the internet and stuff, and it was super important, hard to get documents, had to make phone calls to all your different people to shut every oh and tracking it wasn't easy. It was super easy for someone to use it or to steal your stuff if you didn't do it quick enough. The good old days, right? So yeah, we're gonna be out at the Delta um, soon. That'll probably be my next live stream, like on the lake or body of water, because the only other place that I have general reception over most of the lake is going to be shoot, none of them. Tulik has decent reception through some of it. Um, Maloney's has decent reception through most of it. There's parts of it without reception, but I don't fish those areas much. Um, so Maloney's would work. And that's the one I did last time. McClure has only two areas, sketchy reception. Um, Don Pedro has a couple areas with good reception, and then most of it's sketchy or not good. So yeah, Delta I think is really going to be one of the big spots. So we'll try to take you guys along. Like I said, I'll even drag you guys in and we'll set you up on the table and order drinks and hang out with you guys. So it'll be like all of you guys and gals are chilling at Garlic Brothers, taking a shot with me or having a few beers, and then we'll load back up. We'll get on the boat and we'll smash out and we'll go catch some fish. And as long as the phone doesn't overheat and the solar battery charger keeps working, we'll have a badass live stream. We might even go past 3 hours. We might do like a 5 hour live stream. You never know. We'll go as long as the phone can handle it without melting. But that's one of the worst things in the summertime. It's just the electronic is so damn hot. So I got to make sure that like I said, I think I'm going to invest in a little bit of a setup that I can like mount to the boat somewhere, or at least like put Velcro things on it and Velcro it to the carpet, and then get a tripod, and then maybe even mount it somewhere where, also I have an iPilot, so I can also mount it in the front and face it in the back, and I can also fish from the back of my boat and drive my boat with a remote control, so I can catch the whole boat in the view. And instead of traditional, like the guy being in the front, the camera could be in the front of the boat, looking on the whole length of the boat, and I'd be in the back fishing. You get to see all the action, hook sets, all that. Or I'd have to put the camera in the back of the boat and me fish in the front. But the problem is that when I go to drive, I could lose you guys. So then, if I had Velcro set up, maybe I could, when I go to drive, I put it in the front. And then when we get to our destination, I put it in the back, and then I go to fish, and I'll pre-check all the recording spots and make sure we're all located, and I'll mark it with something. That way I know, okay, the tripod goes here for driving, and the tripod goes here for fishing, right? And that way we can have a continuous live stream feed. Yeah, I can't afford no cameraman. Smash that like button, share, and if we get 10 times the subscribers, and then maybe one day, right? Hopefully in a few years, the idea is just repetitively staying decent, good content, relative, entertaining, thoughtful, fun, and just something for you guys to come back to every once in a while. Then hopefully, I think this channel's gonna do all right. Will grow. I'm trying to keep it as respectful and cool as possible, so I can avoid the YouTube overlords, from and the crazies from trying to cancel me for this or that. So, hopefully the channel will grow and do good in this today's climate that we're in, as far as with the internet and with everything crazy. A lot of negative sells a lot, and it's crazy. Like the videos of people getting harassed by Karens and cops gets like 1 million views, unless you're catching 10-20 pound bass, or you're having monster bags and all that. It can be tough developing an audience, so you got to stick with it, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm always me, keeping it real. uh, I am who I am. So those of you guys who have stuck with me, I'm pretty sure you guys will be here for a while. So thank you. I don't want to ever take that for granted, though. I say thanks, and also, you guys are why we do this stuff. But for all the new people, that's what it's all about: growth, getting new people into the group, um, getting new people to come watch the show and the channel, the live stream, trying to get out into new audiences, different fishermen, different areas and states. So, you know, that's why I'm going to be doing. Hopefully, we'll see down the road how it goes. But try to branch out and do some fun stuff. Do some river rafting and camping videos, catch and cook stuff. Do some kayaking and stuff like that. Go catch some fish like that. But mainly, of course, in my bass boat, out fishing, taking you guys along. But just a little bit more documenting, kind of not just my normal life, but more of life centered around fishing, camping, outdoors, making s'mores, barbecuing a tri-tip on the grill type thing, but also maybe at the lake, right? So at least there's some fishing involved, fishing and tips, stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll do some different stuff. Like the Dave's Not Here Man sketch was an example of what I'm talking about. Just some different themed stuff on the channel, to give you guys some variety and some different stuff, so to speak, because certain people like certain things, right? Find out what you guys all collectively like the most, and maybe hone in on that eventually. But the whiteboard tips and tricks. We got the whiteboard right here. We bust this thing out and try to do little diagrams and graphics, and I broke down Lake McClure, so maybe I'll do one with Don Pedro or something next. But or do Maloney's or Tulik, or show how to break down a new body of water. Maybe somebody can give me a lake and we'll Google Earth it or something. And we'll figure it out together. How would I fish that? Well, let's see. Let's pull up a topographical. Where's the deep spots? Where's the shallow spots? Then pull up a lake, a picture, like where you can actually see what kind of shoreline it is. So get like a GPS or Google Earth picture with a Google car, or either Google Earth and zoom down on it. But yeah, you can break lakes down like that. You can even find fishing spots like that. That's how we used to do it when Google Earth first came out. Me and my buddy, dude, he'd sit there at the computer with me, and we would zoom in and find all these ponds and creeks and backwater stuff, and then we would go out and fish it and catch fish. It was so awesome. It was crazy. We found some places we weren't supposed to fish, and private property and stuff. And thank goodness, we didn't do anything stupid, and we didn't get in any trouble. We didn't, in those instances, anyways. And we fished a lot of cool ponds in different areas. Yeah, I got like an hour and a half, I think, rant on the whiteboard that I was trying to break down into cohesive tips and tricks, as I was like breaking stuff down. But I was like so excited doing all these different stuff. It was hard to like, because there's just too much, And then I don't know if I want to break it down into a bunch of like 5-minute videos. But if I was going to do that, I think I could do a better job. Right. So I'm giving all these different random tips and tricks on stuff. and like I've got all this info I'm trying to share with the world, and it doesn't all being crammed. And there was more. You can't take all 30 years of fishing and cram it in an hour and a half video. But the idea was those like on the whiteboard trying to show a whole bunch of information, let's just say, to help out, right? And it was just a lot. So I think what I need to do is break it down like chapters in a book. Say, okay, well, how would I jig fish? Or how would I drop shot? Or how would I crankbait? What does it look like? And even though like I do have a GoPro we can put underwater, I don't have a scuba diver. I'm not down there making underwater footage. So, but I could use the whiteboard to convey ideas to you guys and gals. So some people learn like that. So, it's right here. That whiteboard is ready at any given moment to get busted out and to use. And I think I need to shoot another one of those. We'll do another whiteboard video. I think I'll scrap the last one that I made, and we'll do more 10-minute videos on specific subjects. 10-minute whiteboard video on frog fishing. 10-minute whiteboard video on why I use fluoro over mono on almost everything. 10-minute whiteboard video on why I use certain stuff or setups. 10-minute white, you guys get the idea, on jerk baits or whatever, right? We've got a lot of possible subjects, and there's a lot of nuances. So if you're going to do a video on crankbaits, there's medium, deep, shallow. You got like all kinds of different. You got wide body. You got a wide wobble, tight wobble. You got you got ones that are like broke back. You got broken back. You got rattling, silent. All kinds of different sizes. There's just so many different things. And then I can use, or I love to use, a crankbait, a square bill crankbait in the Delta. In nasty, weedy, gunky water, I like to use a crankbait, and I'm very good at it too. So there's some techniques and tricks that you can do to use a crankbait in some really heavy cover, even sticks and tules and wood and all kinds of weird shit. You'd be like, what? You're gonna throw a crankbait in that? Yep, watch me. And I'll do it. So the whiteboard on Don Pedro, for sure. Yeah. I'd be more than happy to break Pedro down. It's huge. So I did a whole 3-hour or 2-hour breakdown on McClure. So Pedro, I'd have to probably do the same way. I don't know if you'd like me to do it on the live stream like I did the McClure one, or I think maybe it'd be better to do a Pedro video and then break it down into maybe like part 1 and part 2, maybe, or it'd have to be like a half-hour long. I'd have to condense it because there's so many different unique spots. So you've got Rogers Creek, you've got Big Creek, you've got Mexican Gulch, 49er Bay, there's Blue Oaks and Fleming Meadows areas, the dam, there's Solomon's Mine, the slalom course out in the back towards Rogers Creek. There's all those main lake points in the middle, the boneyard or graveyard on the right with the big white lime rocks. You got all the big bays on the left that are spawning bays over by when the lake's super full. 49er Bay can go around and go through to the other side of the lake. We go up and towards Mid Lake. You've got Hatch Creek up there that's legendary as well. Woods Creek, Moccasin, right? The main arm that brings all the water in. And there's some awesome spots upriver. Mid Lake there's the power where the power poles are at. There's so many damn islands out there that are awesome with rocky tops. There's the spot where from Hetch Hetchy where the water comes down and it goes underneath Don Pedro, and you look, there's a giant cement thing comes down one side, and then on the other it comes up. Both of those usually hold monster bass, man. There's the boating campgrounds headed up towards Moccasin, up in Mid Lake or right before Mid Lake or something like that, in that turn right there headed towards the Narrows, where there's a boating campground where they used to have like a bath or like picnic tables and stuff up there, and you can pull your boat and there's no roads that go to it and all that. And then there's like a dam looking area, like a detention dam. and two creek arms that go back that way. There's so much, dude, to break down on Pedro. It's much bigger than McClure, super extensive. Yeah, it'd have to be two-part for sure. Oh yeah, if you're gonna fish Tulik, here's the deal: where the water comes in for Tulik, it's actually closer to the drive. So when you're coming in, the upriver is easy to get to from road. So I would strongly recommend that you start fishing in the fresh incoming water. Tuluk is colder. So what I would do is I'd fish two main places if I could. It's a long stretch and they got a kayak. So I mean you'd have to either die hard, go for the docks and fish in the mid lake, south and mid lake where all the residential stuff is and the docks are, flip the docks and fish the shade, stuff like that, top water and stuff like that. And you can catch them, but it can be real tough. Right now, there should be a lot of fish in the north end of the lake where the fresh cold water is coming in. And there's a bridge and all that. So you can drive, your truck or whatever you got your kayak with right by the bridge, park, in certain areas, and then walk down. And the launch might be a little tricky. So if you have to launch, you might need to look at, like, I think there's a launch you can use that's near there, where you can like pull up at least close. If not, I know there's a couple, but I don't know if they're open in the actual like housing development areas there, like in Copperopolis or whatever that place is. But yeah, it'd be tricky if you can't get up there. So if you're launching and you have only ways of launching from the south, fish structure, fish shade, fish docks, fish stuff like that, and or also pull out a little deeper and throw drop shots and stuff. But if you can get up north and fish, or not north, but fish in the river, where you look on your little map or get your cell phone, right? And New Maloney's feeds Tulik. So with the water coming out of the dam, get up as far upriver as you can and start right at the inlet and fish your way back. So I would fish, and especially where there's like shallow and deep water, where that big major turn is at. That's a good spot. There's the second turn with all that shallow stuff. That's money, and there's a lot of good stuff there. That's where that kid caught that like 4 or 5 pounder on the drop shot. So, it'll be a good. Hey, Pops World, how's it going? We got J Rod in the house, Pops World. So thanks for watching, you guys. But how's it going? Hope you guys, if you're going out there, hope you smash them too. So, good luck out there. Tulik has been on fire, and I'm going to tell you why. Tulik, the water from Tulik comes from New Maloney's. And the way that they remove the water from the lake, it doesn't pull from the top. It pulls from the bottom, where the water is like 50 something degrees, like 52 to 56 degrees. It's very cold water. And then it gets pumped and moved down, or gravity fed. I don't know how that particular one works, but then moves down out through the dam into Tulik. So right now, Maloney's, Pedro, McClure may be in the 80-degree range, right? 82, 85, whatever. I haven't, use my fish finder to check. It's just warm, I can tell you that. Tulik is cold water, so the bass there are in a better state in the summer, let's say. So they're up in that cold water, coming up in the head of the lake, coming out of New Maloney. So that's where I would fish, and then start your way back. So if you're not doing good there, start your way back. I know you're in a kayak, so you can only cover so much water. So fish slow, take your time. And I know in a kayak too, you can't fish in moving water as much. So the more the water's moving, the harder it is for you to fish it. But it's not like it's a rapids. There's not a lot of water moving. Just if you have pedal drive, you should be fine. If you're using paddles, then I suggest you fish the docks and structure shade lines. I'd use jigs. I'd use top water, jerk bait, stuff like that. A fluke, soft jerk bait, and also a drop shot or something out in the deeper stuff on the drop offs and shelves, and the cover out offshore. So, I would, try to get up. That's what I would do if you could. But good luck out there. Have fun. Tulip is on fire. There's been a lot of people catching a ton of fish. It's also a little tough until you get dialed in. But once you're dialed in, that lake is fire. And it's small. Most of the people catching them up by the bridge and up in the, like I said, the fresh incoming water. So that's where I would head. And, the whole lake can hold fish. So it's a small lake. That's the other good thing. And it's not overfished yet, but I have a feeling it's going to be soon, just because it's gaining in popularity. As far as a lot of people are posting pictures on Facebook, everybody knows what lake that is, and I'll give you one reason why. So, not pointing anyone in specific, but I know multiple people, actually, not just one person or anything. I know multiple people. I've been up there as well that have caught fish out of Tulik that are in the 3 to 5 plus pound range, some 6 and 7s, and they are they are in Tulik. It's obvious, and the reason because is you can tell when you look at the shore, even if you only have a little bit, or where they park or wherever they do, is that you can see there's not a big water line, there's not a big drought line, and only so many lakes in this state right now are where the water is literally up to its high mark or like close to it at least. Right now, every lake has got a big old giant gap of dirt from where you can see grass and dead grass or trees or whatever, and then it stops where the lake is where it's at when it's at its full. And then wherever it's at now, every lake is drained. You can tell. So it's like Ted, those are tulip bass. So it's on fire. So go out you and get you some big fish, top water, and then don't be afraid to drop shot. That's how that kid got his. So drop shotting is super lethal there. Mm. Keeping it real got his double digit. He got a 10 pound, 6 ounce, 10-6 out of Tulik using a drop shot. Oh, yeah. Los Manos Creek Reservoir is one of them as well. Sleeper lakes with big, giant bass that a lot of people don't know about. And I don't want to necessarily blow the place up too hard, but I'm gonna go do a video there too. I've been there already a couple times recently. Just didn't take my GoPros. The last time I was there, I don't even know if I had my GoPro channel yet, or my YouTube channel. I had a GoPro way back in the days, and like I said, it got stolen, and then I never started my YouTube channel till shoot. It says it's 2012 because I was playing Destiny, and I accidentally uploaded a 1 hour clip of me playing Destiny as my first video or 10-minute clip or whatever it was, but like in 2012, Destiny 1 or something, whatever it was, hell a long time ago. But then I never uploaded. I never even, you could tell, like I didn't even know I had a channel, right? Like in that sense, until finally, I think it was 2019, late 2019, November, I started uploading videos from my cell phone while I was at work, and they were all work videos. And I did some fishing videos from the past because I found some of my SD cards. What is my go-to drop shot bait? Have to be a margarita mutilator robo worm, or like a green, what's it called? It's a green, dark green with a light green underbelly and a green tail. It's called green something, green meanie or green, I don't know. It's a robo worm. I like robo worm straight tails for as my go-to. So I also I have a few secret baits that aren't really secret, but they work very well. So the 2.2, I think, the 2.5 inch, and then the 3 inch Berkeley Gulp minnow, the smaller ones, not the super micro ones, but the Berkeley Gulp that's like only this big, and then the one that's like this big. Both of those are killer drop shot lures. The Berkeley Gulp, I swear to you, they are one of the best drop shot lures you can have, period, is a Berkeley Gulp. Second would be, so you got Berkeley gulp is in one of my opinion, the best ways to catch a fish on a drop shot. Like if you're struggling, if you want to catch your first one, if you have a kid that you're trying to put on fishing, like if you're a guide, give that little kid a bag of Berkeley gulps and drop shot, and they're gonna guarantee they're gonna catch some fish, damn near, right? It's almost impossible not to. So that thing's like a live minnow in the water. Um, so Berkeley gulp, robo worm. Then I would say I get creative with my drop shot stuff. So sometimes I'll drop shot swim baits like Kitex. Sometimes I'll drop shot Cincos. Sometimes I'll drop shot crawdad baits, um, creatures, sweet beavers, stuff like that. And I also drop shot brush hogs too a lot. One of my favorites is actually a brush hog. Little secret right there. A brush hog. Oh yeah. Dream shot. Yep. I get real creative and weird with my drop shot stuff. So I throw a lot of different stuff. I try to think about what time of year it is, or like, is there a lot of crawdads out or not? Is it more bait fish time? And then play with your leader. Sometimes you want your leader, if you want, instead of like a Tokyo rig or a Suzuki rig or whatever, you can literally just make an ultra short leader, like a drop shot, same damn thing almost, right? It's going to pull your drop shot right to the ground, and then your hook and your bait will stay a couple inches or 2 inches or whatever you want right off the bottom, and you just wiggle it and shake it like a shaky head, and then you can pop it and wiggle it and do your thing. Or you can have a 4 foot, 5 foot leader, 6 foot leader on your drop shot. So your drop shot's super suspended, and then you can open your bell and chill, and then you let your drop shot slowly sink, like weightless. Because once your weight's on the bottom, so your drop shot's up here, your weight's right here, right? And then you cast, your weight hits the bottom, and if you give it slack, then your hook goes down too, right? So try a 4 or 5 foot leader sometimes, or 2 foot leader. Play around with your leader length, especially in the summertime. You can get a lot of those fish that are 15, 20 feet off the bottom to look down and come get your lure when it's got a 5 foot leader, versus if it's all the way down on the bottom, bass may not go down for it. But if it's dancing and popping around in the middle of the open, 5 feet off the bottom, bass like, all right, easy pickings, heads right down and gets it. Not always, but I'm just saying, leader length is a big thing with the drop shot. And drop shot's a killer lure all year round to catch numbers. I did a few years almost exclusive, not a few, but probably a year and a half, where I threw the drop shot about 80% of the year, and or 60%, 75% of the year, a huge portion. And I figured out how to use it in many different circumstances, like power shot, where you're using like a Texas rig. It's the drop shot setup, a heavier gear, heavier worm, heavier hook, not even a heavier weight, maybe 1/4 ounce, 8 ounce, something small, 6 of an ounce, whatever, but or quarter or an eighth. I like to use an eighth, I think, actually, for drop shot a lot. And same kind of setup, same principle. You can have a big leader, little leader, but you can drop shot a big old giant swim bait. You can drop shot a big old Cinco. If you see fish down 50 feet deep, and you're catching 1s and 2 pounders, and you look like there's some good ones in the school, but you're not getting bit by them, drop a freaking hood down there, or not necessarily maybe a hood, drop a that'll work too, drop the hood and then just jiggle it. But the other one would be drop a Kitech down there on a drop shot. That would be what I would do, a 6-inch or a 4-inch Kitech. That would be like my little hood. And I'd have it with a big old nose hook, not too big, but like one that would be used for, let's say, a wacky rig Cinco or something. So bigger than a drop shot hook, but not like Texas rig or nothing. And I would nose hook a big Kitech, and then drop it down there and drag it and move it and wiggle it, and then die it and let it hit the bottom, and then slowly lift it up. And I'd work on like imagining like that I can translate what I'm doing with my pole to what the lure's doing down in the water. And I'm trying different things. And, you know, those Kitechs are killer on a drop shot rig. If you guys haven't tried it. Thanks for watching and hanging out for the night, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate it. So we're going to go until 9 o'clock. We got about half hour left. Appreciate all your questions and comments. Smash that like if you guys get a chance. If you're watching this afterward or you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button if you will. You guys know the routine. Common Sense Fishing here, having a good time. So I think, like I said, Friday's up in the air. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make it. I just might be late. Might be a 7 to 9 instead of a 6 to 9. So we'll see how that goes. And if I miss it, I'll try to make it up. But like I said, I got my kids coming in Saturday, so got a lot of cool stuff going on. My plate's pretty full, but I'm excited. Happy to bring some awesome new content. Hopefully going to get back out on the lake soon. Live well parts coming in, so we just got to figure out how to get those hoses redone or figure out where the heck it's leaking from on the live well fitting perhaps. So this is going to be interesting. I don't think I can get to underneath the what you say, I don't think I can get to the fittings without moving the gas tank. So this is going to be interesting. So I might enlist somebody's help, might record it, bring you guys along, let you guys see the adventure. It's bound to be probably fun if I try to do it myself. We'll see. And I know a mechanic's not going to be happy seeing me show up to the shop with like a half ripped apart boat, like, I tried to change it myself, and then I got stuck. And you like made it way worse, and then the mechanic has to like put everything back or try to put everything back and then take it out in a different order or whatever have you. So, you know, it's gonna be fun. I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. I'm not dumb. I do heating and air. I'm mechanically inclined, but we'll see. Boats aren't my specialty, and I don't want to break it. So, but I did install my own trolling motor and do a few things. But you know, my fish finder, all that. So I am definitely getting rid of that one or moving it to the back and then buying a new transducer, move it to the back, and then mounting it on the console or on the front. But I think if I'm going to do all that, I might buy it, you know, a new one. It just depends. We'll see. I don't have a lot of money. You know, I do heating and air conditioning on my own contractor now. So it's crazy. I got to think about long term. Will I have money come next year? So I have these ideas and plans, but I got to take them one small step at a time. And then as the channel grows and grows and grows, it gets me more pumped to go do this and do that or buy this and do that. So, you know, I'm excited, but you can't rush. You know, good things can't be rushed. So we'll build this channel brick by brick, subscriber by subscriber, member by member. And slowly but surely, tip by tip, trick by trick, we're going to help as many people as we can catch as many bass and big PBs as possible. So super stoked. We've got a good community here too. You guys are good people. So, you know, good fit. I think it's going to be awesome. Hope this year we have a awesome toy drive. We'll see how it goes. It's been kind of shaky. I haven't been going on a lot of toy drive trips lately. So hopefully we'll start booking some toy drive trips soon. I'll probably have to go back onto Facebook and remind everybody and put a blast out there. But also the boat's taking water on and the live well isn't working. So I wouldn't really want to, you know, we'll wait until we get everything fixed. But hopefully once it's fixed, that's where I'm assuming the fishing trips will really pick back up hardcore. We'll get to see that pile of toys back there grow a lot. Like I said, I got a couple $100 or more already set aside. Got to go buy some more. So super stoked for that. You know, doing a lot of cool, fun things on the channel. Without you guys, that wouldn't be possible. So thanks for your support. So we'll see what we do this year. If you guys get interested, you can watch Fishmas 2020. It's last year's culmination of a bunch of toy drive trips. We took care of Christmas for over 200 kids. Super stoked. So we'll see what we do this year, though. But again, all thanks to you guys and gals. Drinking some water right now. I do heating and air, and I didn't drink enough earlier, so get all dried out. How's everybody's hump day? Happy hump day. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys have some tight lines this weekend. May your fishing trips be blessed. Hope you guys smack them. So, and for those of you who can't go fishing, I wish you to be able to fish as soon as possible. Because I know it's yeah, I'm going to be fishing the Delta next. I figure probably Wednesday or Friday. I'm going to try to do a live stream on the Delta. So I might fish somewhere else next, so to speak, but my next live stream will be on the Delta. And I really don't know if I'm going to fish anywhere, until the Delta next, which would be probably Wednesday or Friday, because sometime Monday/Tuesday, I've got to fix the boat. So I've got to put the live well timer in, make sure that works, fire up the live well. Then after that, I got to figure out the water leak situation, because that's interesting because it's on the live well hose. So if I turn the live well pump on, I may very well likely damn near drown the boat, like speed up the leak, and that wouldn't be good. And then also the live well will most likely leak into the boat through the hose. So interesting conundrum. I got to get that hose fixed, but hopefully I do all that Monday or Tuesday, and then Delta will be Wednesday/Friday. And then I'm going no matter what, but the idea is I'm hoping to get some good footage and some nice pictures, double fisting some big fish, stuff like that for the thumbnail and just for the video's sake, so you guys keep your eyes out for that. That'll be coming out next. I also released a Delta video with Virgil just this last Monday or Sunday or something. So if you guys haven't checked that one out, I've got a new video out where we're at the Delta. We smash a bunch on square bills. And then I've got Dave's Not Here Man, and then also a McClure trip with the Buffalo boys. So Jason and Josh Buffalo, shout out to them. So yeah, actually I'm going to be doing some work Thursday and Friday, or else I'd probably be fishing. So it does look like Wednesday or Friday potentially will be the next fishing live stream, and I plan on doing that at the Delta. The McClure live stream, I got about an hour. I looked back on it. I think there's an hour of footage so you can watch it. And then it's just me chilling and chatting with you a little bit. Mostly nice little scenery, but I don't catch anything on the video. It goes about an hour before I catch something. I think the video is 50 minutes. 10 minutes after the video died, I caught my first fish. Oh, dang it. See, a live stream is not like GoPro, so I can't be GoPro turn off or live stream stop. And then everybody waits, and it's cool, time freezes. And then I suck for an hour, and then I start catching fish. Live stream turn on. I wish it would work like that, but it didn't. So the live stream at New Maloney's, we caught 6 fish in 10, 15 minutes on that live stream. That one was cool, but or 30 minutes maybe, because there was the smash across the lake, the drive up there. So the live stream was 2 hours and some change, but most of it was the drive up to the lake. It was 3 hours, I think. The drive up to the lake and then the smash across it. We actually only managed to get maybe about 45 minutes or half an hour at most of fishing in, because the sun was going down. Beautiful, beautiful sunset. That was a pretty cool live stream. So I'm hoping to replicate kind of something like that. Or if anything, just do a regular one. We're going to take you guys to the bar with us. So we're going to go catch bass, have a good time, and then we're going to go catch a few drinks. We'll go order something. We'll pull the menu out. We'll have you guys help me pick something to eat. I love everything on there. So, if you're interested in seeing something or what my favorites are, I could show you guys. Great little restaurant on the Delta. And, then we'll get back out on the water and see if we can wreck them. So Yo, 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 how's it going, Benjamin? We're just chatting, chilling on the live stream here. Earlier, we talked about, earlier, the live stream was about how to catch fish without a fish finder and some of the lessons I've learned not having a fish finder. Then we got into some random conversation for a while. Then the last hour, 45 minutes, we've been basically answering questions and comments on the chat here and BSing about fishing in general and some of the stuff that's coming to the channel soon, hopefully. And, just chatting and having a good time. So we do these every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 to 9. Thanks for joining on. Smash that like if you guys get a chance. Um, so we got about maybe 10, 15 minutes left. Sometimes I'll go over a little more. So what is my best fish? Right now I have a 10-pound 9-ounce bass. I have a 10-pound 8-ounce bass, 10-pound 6-ounce bass, and a 10-pound 1-ounce bass. Those are my double digits right now. I've got a ton of 8s and 7s. I've caught giant salmon, biggest stripers probably in the 15 to 20-pound range, didn't get weighed. Out at the O'Neill Forebay, the reservoir, back by checkpoint 12, where you walk across it, and you go to the backside and wade out into the water. Biggest catfish sits at about 12 or 14. I know it's 12 pounds. 12 pounds and some change, not 14. Yeah, I've got some monster salmon, but I've been fishing since I was a tyke. I got a lot of pictures, but I only started this GoPro channel about 2 years ago almost. So hopefully we're going to catch. So already on GoPro here, we've got 2 double digits in the last 2 years for YouTube for you guys. We've got a couple of 8-pounders. There's a 9-pounder on my channel, a couple 8-pounders, a few 6 and 7s. Appreciate it. Thanks, man. And so double digits, but we've only been around 2 years. We do giveaways like every once in a while for all the subscribers. And then we also have memberships on the channel. We do giveaways for those. So cool stuff. We have a good community here. I also take people fishing, and they donate a little bit of money or toys, and I take care of kids for Christmas. Last year, we took care of 200. So those are the toys and stuff you see behind me. Oop, not that. Let's see, did I turn that off? No, we're good. Oh, yeah, I did. I muted that. Sorry about that. So you can see the bikes and stuff, and then we got a bunch of toys. So super stoked. We do a lot of fun stuff on the channel here. So thanks for subscribing. Nice to see you on tonight. So any other questions, any concerns? Does anybody have anything they want to yap or chat about? Would you like to hear some crazy stories from my past? Any fun stories about fishing? You know, there's in past live streams I've talked about mountain lion encounters, all kinds of crazy fun stuff. Do I have my own pond? Nope. I am not a rich YouTuber from like Texas or something that has my own pond stocked with big fish. I'm out here in California in the Central Valley. So think of like rural Midwest America, kind of the way we live here. Not big city, Bay Area folk, but a lot of different views and people here, diverse, great community. There's a lot of different fisheries here. So we have rivers, ponds, we have lakes, we have a delta, we have a Clear Lake, big bass factory like Clear Lake, Berryessa. And then the lakes I really like to fish are like McClure, Don Pedro, New Maloney's, Tulic, Almador, you know, of course, Berryessa, Clear Lake, you know, Los Banos Creek Reservoir. So all these ones around California, but I fished in Florida, fished in New Mexico, fished Havasu, a couple other areas. So Nacimiento, no, I have not, and I have a couple buddies who have. There's some Bay Area lakes that I have not fished that I'd really like to. I lived in Santa Cruz for a few years, so I did fish like Lexington, caught some fish out of there, like Uvis and Calero, caught some fish out of there, like from the shore. I fished like Quail Lakes with Virgil, didn't catch anything out of there, but there's a lot of like Nacimiento. There's a couple other like Pinto Lake in Watsonville's got some monsters too. But I'm really interested in fishing a lot of. I fished a lot of bodies of water: Shasta, Oroville, Bullard's Bar. I fished so many different lakes. I fished a lot of rivers and ponds in my past. But on this channel here, I've been to Clear Lake. I've been to the river. I've been to some private spots. I've been to Kelsey Bass Ranch, Tulick, New Maloney's, Pedro, McClure, Salt Springs Valley Reservoir, Comanche, Amador. Where else? I've been to a few other places, I want to say. Eastman. Anyways. No, Santa Margarita. There's one of those in the Bay Area I heard has monster double digits, but they don't let you fish it. It's like because it's got the drinking water, or they plant it for trout, or they plant it with stuff, but they don't let you fish it or something. It's weird. I heard of there's like everybody knows about it too. There's a lake somewhere up in Marin area, or is it Bay Area? I forget. I think it's Bay Area. But no, I want to fish all over. So on this channel, we're very interactive. So I'll create a post, right? And I'm going to just post it to all my members and also all the subscribers so everyone can see it. We'll give you guys a poll. You guys can vote, and I'll put a bunch of different lakes. And then the last selection will be other. And then you'll be allowed to comment in the comment section below a lake of your choosing. And if other wins, then what I do is I'll go into the comment section, and instead of picking the one that has the most, I'll enter each lake into a random generator so that somebody's response will win, basically. So, well, thanks for being on tonight, Benjamin. Have a good one. We'll see you later, buddy. Bye, and have a great one. We'll be back on. So Friday at 6 or 7, you guys will see me. I'll be back on, as always, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So it's almost 9 o'clock. Thank you, everybody, for being part of the live stream tonight. And thank you for smashing that like button for those of you who have. And those of you who haven't, thanks for just hanging out and watching, period. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. So that's why we do this. But hopefully everybody sticks around. Let's ride this thing through, and I can't wait to see the growth and the change in the next few years. Hopefully we'll do some really good things for the community, for fishing, the toy drive. I just want to try to help as many people as I can. If we can teach as many people as we can how to fish and catch fish. And also I like taking underprivileged youth, elderly, I do charity fishing trips. As far as I'm not a guide, so there are times where I don't basically charge, or if you just pay a little bit of gas, I try to take people fishing. Don't mean I can do it all the time and every night or every trip, but I got a big heart. I want to share the love of fishing. So if you found this channel, thank you guys for watching. If you've been here, thank you guys either way. So tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and sign off a little early tonight. I'm getting tired. So almost 9 o'clock. We made it to 8:55. Sayonara and tight lines. I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. We'll see you guys on Friday. And if you do some fishing, whack them, catch a big one, hopefully. And other than that, be safe. And what is it, like Bill and Ted? Be kind to each other. Take it easy.